What? Oh God. What up, mini painting people, and welcome back to Twitch. I feel you all like I feel a nice warm hug. It's good to be back. Also, someone in chat just said, I literally just left my hobby shop with some new pants. You can buy pants in your hobby shop? That's crazy. Reaper Miniatures, thank you for the raid of 40 peeps. We appreciate it. Right at the beginning of the stream. That's awesome. Iron Terrans, thanks to the Prime sub. And also Lord Area Can, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you for the 11 months of subbing on a 9-month streak. That's pretty awesome. What up, Amosteen, the kitten, and Cyber Psychosis. We are working on some Yafseti walkers today. There's some minis from Yafsiga. We will probably have a giveaway going for the stream. Once we hit 50 subs, we'll give something cool away. Evan, what is that thing?
A bag of minis.
A bag o' minis. Are we showing it off, or is it a secret bag of minis?
I mean,
Is it 3D printed minis?
I don't know what they are. That's the key.
Nice. I get to see the stream till my wife starts her stream. Very cool. PC Tyler, Floss Smith, and Paint Liquor, and Enoch Root. Thank you for the subs. Let's keep the brushes moist, says Paint Liquor. Floss Smith says, happy to be here. And Enoch says, 2 whole years. That's true, 24 months. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, I gotta fix the notifications apparently, even though they should be working fine.
Mycelium Veins back on Twitch train. Let's go. Thanks to the Prime sub, Mycelium Veins. All right. Before we get into the Yafseti walkers, which are definitely the coolest models in Yafsiga, let's look at some mail time. I always get these lovely little care packages from Gamers Grass. I must be on a list, but they send me their new stuff. Sometimes they send me things that I already have, such as these very funky Technicolor tufts. I see some purple in there.
Alien tufts.
Probably neutral, normal colored ones, and then blue and pink. The one that I saw that immediately sparked like creativity in me was these black ones. I was like, why would a plant be black? And then I thought to myself, I was like, well, if they're black, they absorb light more, and maybe they photosynthesize better if they're black. And I was like, where would you find black plants? And I was like, maybe in a desert? And I was like, what if I based my desert dark Eldar in black tufts? It's kind of like the scheme itself. The base is cream colored and the plants are black. It's almost like they're synthetic plants, like the homunculi of the planet have cultivated plants synthetically that are able to live in the environment that they accidentally created by stealing a sun and not being able to control it. You have these black plants. I don't know. That seemed like a fun idea. Could be on a planet with a different color sun. What? That's a crazy cool idea. A planet with a different colored sun. Like, does light always have to, illuminate in the same way? Can we totally reinterpret that idea altogether? Miniac is now following Miniac. Thank you.
I had to test it, so why not?
I know. This is a good reminder that it's the first of the month. I need a sub to your Patreon. Thank you, Cyber Psychosis. I really appreciate that. I definitely get more money through Patreon subs than I do through Twitch subscribers, but I appreciate any and all support. Doesn't really matter to me. There is a Japanese grass that is black. Wonderful. So yeah, I got those same exact tufts yesterday. They're great. Awesome. PP Poo Poo Man is back with another sub. What up, Evan? I bought my mom's. So you bought some black flowers a while ago for your mom. That's cool.
So tests work, but the actual thing don't. What the hell?
What the hell? What else have we got in this box
on, Streamlabs.
Of goodies? Oh, baby. Oh, man. There's some basing bits. Okay, so Evan, can you throw it on the paint cam? We'll take a look at some of these bits.
It is on the paint cam.
Nice. Okay, what do we got in here? We have some alien-infested things. A little container here. It says danger on it.
I hate when my thing gets infested by aliens.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
What is best
This is what Evan's thumb would have looked like after his cat
See them driven
scratched him
before
had
you?
he not gone to
They
the
hear the
doctor.
lamentation of the women.
So thank heaven for modern medicine. More stuff. It seems to be sci-fi grebes plus tentacles. Oh, there's like a little
Carl
coffin
would
thing
approve of
here. Maybe a
this.
cryo sleep chamber. where he was rudely awoken by some infestation. Mama Wolf, thank you for the sub. I am having a wonderful week. What up, Coronary Chump? Thanks for the sub. Hey, thank you for everything you do. I had a lot of fun watching your videos throughout the years. You're welcome, Zombie Zach. Okay, so these are pretty cool. These are basing bits with an emphasis on tentacles and sci-fi bits. And we have another one in here as well. I wonder if it's the exact same one. It seems like it's a little bit different. Okay, so this is the same thing, but without the aliens. So I like how they kind of double dipped on that. Totally fine. You know, like one thing is good for one, and another that's more generic is also a good idea. Made with Siocast. I wonder if they have that in their agreement where they have to specify that.
Probably.
Interesting. That'd be really interesting. I don't see Big Resin coming to collect. All right, we have one more box from Gamer's Grass, probably a similar offering in it, if not the same. Let's see. Monument Hobbies with the sub. You can't tell me what to do. I know that. As a thought. I forgot to unsub again, damn it. Maybe next time, Okay. What do we got in this? Oh, look at these little baby. Look at them. They're so tiny. I love micro tufts. Little baby micro tufts.
Monument Hobbies, gift and 20 tier 1 subs.
What the hell?
Trying to keep us on Twitch forever.
Oh, Jason, thank you so much.
I want that pop-up to work, but Streamlabs is apparently just like not happy with me anymore.
Dang, Jason, thank you so much for the gift of subs, man. I really appreciate that. It's a lot of money. I want to acknowledge that. Huddleston, almost got it wrong.
Yeah, it's Huddleston.
What up, homies? Currently waiting for my wife to dilate more and birth our baby. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Did you study color theory to make your palettes, or did you just learn it from trial and error? I'm curious if you have any tips on learning how to choose a palette better. I did not study anything, unfortunately. Cool, like icy tufts. Wow, those are interesting. And then a more red, maroon, mostly red, but like it looks like the underlying static grass is
They're
purple.
really going hard on the alien theme here.
They are. Lots of colorful tufts. Okay.
I like the void tufts because you can use those with void blending.
There it is. Fucking gamer
Bros,
strap.
I am literally at the hospital run. Damn.
Okay. All right. That's it for Gamer's Grass. I also received this rule set and also some minis from an indie company called Righteous Falcon Games. The name of the game is NASG, which stands for Nefarious, Absurd, Scintillating Games. Wait, so is the name of the game also include the word game as well as the name of the company? Righteous Falcon Games, and also Nefarious, Absurd, Scintillating Games? So what's the name of the actual game?
Mask?
I think it's NASG. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't know much about the game. I haven't read the rules yet, but let's take a look at the...
Show that cover on the paint cam again. I love this piece of art.
He's got a sandwich, burger perhaps, one-handing and an automatic rifle of some kind.
Yeah, as one does.
Casually.
I got things to do and burgers to eat.
JTP Crusade. What's up, Scott? Recently painted a simple Simon model from the Bloodborne game. Honestly loved painting the simple mini, knocking it out in less than an hour. Thank you for the sub. And also, I very much so agree with that. I do love just banging out a simple model. Okay, we got some 3D printed stuff in here, and I'm not totally sure what it is. I'm gonna guess that
it's from the future.
It's from the future.
It's got hexagons, so it must be from the future.
Exactly. I'm gonna guess it's probably something to do with the game itself. It might be like, oh no, maybe it's like a vending machine of some sort. FDM printed. What else do we got in here? We won't bust out every single thing in this box, but just a couple of things. Take a look. Oh, hey, that's a nice generic model. It's got a cleaver of some sort.
It's not generic. That's the hero of the whole setting, Scott.
That's the hero.
The main character.
Yeah. They come based already, apparently. That's kind of cool. All right, another similar type character, similar clothing. He's got quite a wide stance. He's kind of just like, he's ready to go on quite a jaunt. All right, one more. Let's dig deeper, see if we can find one, maybe like a bigger one. Okay, here's the Big Daddy, whatever this is. Let's figure it out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This guy skipped leg day. 100 fucking %, dude. Look at this. This is insane. Slow in the barbershop today, tossing on the stream. Nice. Yeah, Huddleston is hobby daddy now. I gotta get that right. Newborn shits are the worst. Be prepared. Oh my.
This hobby train's setting a new record, apparently.
Are we?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what it says. Setting a new record. Keep going until the clock runs out. You can't ignore what Twitch says, guys. You gotta sub in the next 30 seconds.
Someone asked if this is sponsored. It's not sponsored so much as someone emailed me and they were like, "Hey, do you want to have some stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no strings attached. I'd love to look at your things live on stream."
Yeah, this is like the minimum level. You send us some stuff with no obligations, it'll show up in mail time.
Yes.
Unless it's not Twitch appropriate.
Yes, or if I have to like sign some NDA for
Yeah.
that. But that is from the company Righteous Falcon Games and their game Nefarious, Absurd, Scintillating Games. Okay, and then the very last thing, I don't think I showed you guys this, but it's related to what we're painting today. The boys and girls over at Black Site Studios sent me away with quite the grab bag of Yasfiga stuff. So we have some Bloom's Reach merchants. These are not playable characters in the game, but in between missions of your campaign, you can visit the merchants to buy stuff from them. But you can also just proxy these models in as your leader or anything you want in your army. Yasfiga ultimately is a model agnostic game, but they also make minis for the game to use. I kind of want my game to be like this as well. Like, I don't necessarily need to explicitly state that the game is model agnostic. I kind of feel like all games are model agnostic. You can use the ones I make, or if you have other 75mm models that are beautiful, you can use those instead. I also got some basing elements, some jungle ones, some street kind of modern ones, crates, fire hydrants, trash bags, and the like. Markitect, thanks to the sub, Mark, appreciate it. Hey Scott, decided to try my hand at going full ball sack on a model on a 80s/90s Saturday morning cartoon inspired Infernal Master from the Thousand Suns Combat Patrol. Thanks for the inspiration. You're very welcome. We also got a neoprene mat, the cards, the objective markers. I want to just show you some of these minis. So, did you refresh the browser source?
The source is clearly working because the tests work, right? If I test a resub, it shows up no problem. And it's clearly tied to the right account because, this is the same account. So why the hell isn't it working? I want those sweet, sweet notifications.
Are you perhaps logged into the YouTube stream alerts, testing the stream alerts with the right YouTube stream alerts link, but haven't changed the link yet? Or logged into the new one?
This is Twitch at the top right.
I don't know then. Okay, these are Chalice Knights. These guys have spent too much time in the Bloom, which is like this infestation that's like infecting the land in Yasfiga. And they have become part man, part mushroom. I will say the flashing on this is
all vengeance. It's
pretty absurd. This is like a ridiculous amount of flashing toward the bottom here at the very least. There's only one little sprue to remove here in the elbow, and that's just to kind of fill out that little gap there in the arm. I don't know if you guys, we can do a little explanation of why this thing exists. So this is a long and thin detail And there's a large chance that air might get caught in that fist right there. And so you need to have a return so that when the resin goes in, it can push air out somewhere. And like there's not necessarily a science to it because all models are like different shapes and sizes, and there are different like areas to work on. So like you could add a couple of gates here or vents, I forget what the technical term is, to have some kind of air return to push bubbles out as resin fills the mold. Most resin is a dump mold. You just pour the resin into a mold, and then gravity does most of the work. But some molds are different. Some use centrifugal force. They put like the model in like a disc. So imagine this guy, but like 10 of him in a donut shape. And then you put the mold in this machine, and the machine spins at a super fast rate, and it forces resin toward the outside of the mold. That's the method. You might have heard molded injection molded plastic. That uses pressure. It pressurizes the mold and forces plastic into the mold that way to avoid voids and stuff like that. That's why you don't need much. Well, never mind. But yeah, so those are kind of like the basic ways you can cast models. The casting quality is pretty amazing. I'm not a huge fan of all the gates and stuff, but like the sharpness of detail is definitely there.
I figured it out, and now every dog is going to have his day.
Okay.
All these alerts are going to play. It's going to be sick.
Oh, nice. It's true that all games are indeed model agnostic, but a lot of people just need permission to feel like it's okay. Yeah, that is a little bizarre. I don't know why. Everyone feels like they need the permission to play with other minis. Spatsnat, thank you for the sub. Really enjoyed your recent video, Scott. Got myself a copy of the Doom board game and a 3D printed Slayer mini thanks to you, John and Tup. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Bill, the orange cat says hi. Hello, Bill. For the record, my Chalice Knights were nearly perfect and had very little flash. The magic of injection molding variants. Oh, I gotcha. I don't know if any of the Chalice Knights are injection molding, Mike. I think they're all resin cast minis, unless I missed something when I went over there. I know they used to have their models resin cast by someone else, like Offsite, but they recently have taken it upon themselves to do their own resin casting.
Is Offsite another one of their brands?
No. Offsite Studios.
Yeah, sure. Offsite Studios. That would be a great name for a subcontractor. We're having an Offsite studio do that.
That would be hilarious. Someone asked, have you heard of drag molding? I feel like this is going to be a joke.
Got him.
No, I haven't heard of that. Almighty Spaz says, I'm glad to see more BSS minis at good quality. They seem to have their spin cast. That's what it is. That was the term I forgot. Spin casting. Thank you. Yes, they do have it down pretty good. Monument. Okay, that's the same one.
Yeah. We're just getting through them. I want to make sure that everyone gets their little chance to make the guy say, "I kick ass for the Lord."
Nerds are naturally drawn to rules and doing things the correct way. I think you're right. I think we all strive for a rule set. While I was there, I also got the actual demon ship box. The one that comes with the cool weathered corners and the vintage stylings and trimmings. This comes with tokens for the game and actual models for the game, and a rule book. I also got a Whitney and Malev Survivor. These are fantastic. What up, Marshall Tracy? What is the notification sound from? It's from a movie called Evil Dead. And I also got
Whoa. Wait a minute.
Not Evil Dead, sorry, Dead Alive.
There you go.
I also got some laser cut terrain for the game. I don't want to pull it out because at the bottom I'm going to upset everything. But yeah, a lot of wonderful goodies from Blacksite Studios while I was down. And that concludes mail time. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. If you want to look at a specific model from Yasfiga, let me know. I think I have all of them. We can pop it out and look at it in more closely in detail. But otherwise, let's complete assembling these Yafseti walkers. I have one more to do.
Marshall Tracy says, I'm actively shipping out more Demon Ship orders at this moment.
Oh, okay. It's the Black Side Studios, Tracy. What's up? I need both those minis to fill out my Ghost Boat collection. I don't know if you guys saw, but I went to the Dells this last weekend, and there's an attraction at the Dells called Ghost Boat, and I took a picture by the giant sign. Well, that was kind of cool.
Our framing is very bad today.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can adjust.
I can also adjust if necessary.
Okay. Black Site Studios art design and packaging is so good. I agree. It's very good. I love all their books. I was getting ads for the new game. Not new game, but the game that's actually being released now, Hametsu, and the rule book just looks really nice. At least the cover does. Azathoth says, I acquired a 3D printer with the intention of getting non-official GW models, but it turns out that I like GW sculpts, so I still haven't used the 3D printed models in the game yet. Yeah, I would say that, turns out sculpting is a skill, and not everyone makes models the same way. Like, there are certain STL providers that just make models that fit better into a GW's army. I think Last Sword Miniatures does a great job of sculpting models in that way. But yeah,
it depends on which game you're talking about.
Yeah,
there's a lot of 40k proxies, many of which are pretty good, and then you go to Age of Sigmar, and it's like pickings get real slim real quick.
Yeah. Love the hobby manufacturer representation in chat. There's something about visual coherency that works against 3D printed sculpts too. Yeah, it's a lot easier to use like a printed head in like an army than it is to like sneak a whole model into your army and have it feel like it belongs and was made by the same people and stuff like that. Okay, this guy has a scythe that unfortunately broke. And you know what? I am just going to take the one off of the other bag. Because I have 2 bags of these dudes, and why not?
Less Pixels Produce is rating us with a party of 12. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are a ton of good BattleTech 3D models. That is largely thanks to people just extracting the models from the MechWarrior Online client and going, here's a 3D model. We made it manifold. Congrats. Azathoth wants to know, have you seen Talk to Me yet? Horror movie.
No, okay, but I know it's made by Raka Raka. So I'm
sorry, the movie's made by Parappa the Rappa?
Yeah, Harappa, yes. Raka Raka, an older YouTube channel, 2 Aussie twins that had they loved filmmaking, and they made a lot of YouTube shorts that were all heavy on the stunts. They were huge on stunts, and so they loved to do like real practical effects. But I watched a video of Raka Raka being interviewed, or having a conversation rather, with George Miller, the director of the new Fury Road, and of course other movies, the prior Mad Max movies he did as well. And I learned about Talk to Me, and it's their first feature film, and it got a pretty good rating on Letterboxd. And so normally debuts from like YouTubers, like a YouTuber movie is not going to be good. It's not going to be received well. But that one was, and so I put it on my watch list, and I am excited to take a look. I was pretty disappointed, honestly. Never cared for Raka Raka. I like Raka Raka. I thought they were funny. But I saw it because A24 and good reviews, so keep your expectations in check. George Miller also did Happy Feet. He has a very interesting filmography. I tell you what I did see this weekend, though. I tried to see the Barbie movie, but the theater that I was in, we stopped in the middle of the movie. This has never happened before for a movie that I've gone to see. But the movie stopped in the middle because of a tornado warning.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Has that happened to you? That's crazy.
Yeah. Supposedly, and this could be an urban myth, but as I recall, it was here, but maybe it was like Michigan or something. During the original Hulk movie, the Ang Lee one, there was a tornado warning, and a car burst through the main screen during the first Hulk transformation.
What the fuck?
Which is like the ultimate movie-going experience.
Yeah, that's just like...
When Hulk's like bursting, he's coming, and then he's like, bam, car just comes through the main screen.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I have definitely been at theaters when they've shut down for severe storms.
Yeah. Also, Uncle Serban had the exact same experience. That's insane. I saw half of the movie, which is like so annoying. But from what I saw, I thought it was funny. I thought maybe they were a bit too on the nose about the agenda. Like, I don't need to be like bashed over the head with what you're trying to tell me, and I can pick it up quicker.
It's a toy movie, Scott. Of course it's going to be overt with its agenda.
Why is that? Why would a toy movie be more overt than any other movie?
I mean, like, not any other movie, but it's going to be as overt as any other, like, big, very, very corporate movie.
I suppose so. I'm honestly kind of surprised.
Kids, toys, etc. It seems good. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just saying, like, I don't expect a lot of nuance from something that's made expressly as a licensing deal with a recognizable brand name.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected a lot just because of the director and also just the theming I know going into it from like the trailers.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised actually at what Mattel let Greta Gerwig say in the movie about Mattel. Like, the movie is pretty critical of the company, and like obviously they had some say in it as to the content of the movie. So that was pretty interesting.
Ricky Bobby Paints just subscribed.
Someone had a nice thing to say, and I missed it. It was the person who rated us. The other movie I watched this past week was My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To. Curious if... no, I haven't seen that one. I would love to see my take on the Craft World Studio style, eh? Okay.
It was Les Pixels produced, said, just wanted to say to Miniac, you are the one that made me start miniatures back in March after losing my job, and I want to thank you for your videos because your attitude towards the hobby saved me from going real bad mentally.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for the host, the raid. Thank you for the kind words as well. I appreciate it. Yoda JGC, thank you for the Prime sub. Barbie was more nuanced than I think a lot of people claim it is. More of a Ken movie, honestly. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see the whole movie, so I can't really say if the whole thing felt the same as the first half. But I definitely want to rewatch it. Did I say that I already saw? I mean, I watched Aliens.
Finally,
I watched Aliens. That was pretty cool. What else did I see? I tried to watch John Wick 4, but I couldn't like blast it. And so I stopped watching it in favor of another time when I could just like blast the soundtrack. What else did I watch? I don't know if I reviewed many of these things.
I started to watch The Founder, which I never saw when it came.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember why I paused it, but I did not resume. I watched about the first third. I started watching it because I keep getting recommended clips of it on YouTube.
Okay.
And I was just like, fine. I've seen like 10 pivotal scenes from the movie. I might as well just watch the rest of it. Seems fine.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, right, Slugonix? It's clearly Slug Go Nix. Yeah.
I rewatched the 2019 Hellboy movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was a remake.
Yeah, with the guy from the TV show Stranger Things. He's the new Hellboy.
The TV
sheriff.
show?
The TV show.
The guy on my TV? He's got the Hellboy thing going now. I watched Fury Road another 3 times. Yeah, how was that 2019 Hellboy? I didn't see that one. I just saw the original too.
Honestly, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And it is pretty good, but like it really does lack a lot of any kind of like class or nuance. It's not like a good movie at all. But I mean, it's still super fun. It's like a lot of fun.
Did it have like the things that like go boom boom on the TV?
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing today.
Yeah. And are we doing that today?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not joining you in this, Evan. This is all you. But yeah, I'd recommend seeing it at least once. It was pretty good.
I watched Dune 2021, then Dune 1984, then Dune 2021 again.
Who watched that?
That was
Coronary
Jump. Yeah, okay.
I watched the first 30-ish minutes and then gave up. Man,
6 gifts and a sub to the Angry Can.
I should have wrote a review the day I watched Hellboy, because there were storytelling things about that movie that were just really bad. They're just like, okay, like that's super obvious, like super, just like, what's the term I'm looking for here, when something is like forced, it's contrived, it's very contrived, but I can't remember specific reasons why it felt that way.
I have not watched it yet, but I ordered it, and I'm sad that it's going to take forever to get to me. The Venture Brothers movie also came out at the same time as Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Oh yeah.
They sold through the first like pressing of discs, so I don't get my copy until the end of this month.
Did you go and see Oppenheimer?
No.
No.
I'm more excited to see Barbie, honestly.
Yeah.
Nolan has worn out his stay in my mind.
Yeah, I kind of feel a similar way. I'll definitely watch Oppenheimer, but it'll be when it comes out on DVD or whatever.
I may go see
Netflix.
it in theaters, but it'll probably be like on a $5 Tuesday. Maybe I'll go see it next week because it's the first of the month, so I'm not free tonight. But JTP Crusade says the most recent movie I watched was John Wick 4, and before that, Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge is pretty intense, and I say that knowing that Scott can throw that intense back in my face.
I was pretty happy with Hacksaw Ridge. It's a cool story, and that kind of makes movie making a lot easier. This part of the cape here got so thin that there's a hole in it, which not that big of a deal, honestly.
Lol Snipe says, no, you need to see it in theaters. It is absolutely amazing. Yeah, but isn't like 2 hours and 30 minutes of the movie 2 guys sitting in a room talking to each other incredibly intensely? I don't know that I need to see that in theaters for 20 or 30 seconds of nuclear explosions a couple times.
I looked up movies that got nominated for best sound mixing, and I've started to watch those just because I've realized now that I have a little bit of a nicer audio setup. I realize that not all movies that are modern really have like an interesting like sound mix to watch on Blu-ray or something like that. But the ones that get reviewed well obviously do, or that get rated by the Academy well do, and they were pretty awesome actually. I was happy with that method for finding a cool movie to listen to in 5.1 or whatever. I'm with Evan. Nolan Batman movies are pretty mid. Are they mid?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're pretty good. I think I enjoyed them when I watched them, but I haven't rewatched them in a very, very long time.
Maybe I'm a hater, but I think that all three of those movies are like 6 or 7 out of 10 at best.
I feel like to me they're the best superhero movies that I've ever seen.
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2 are still by far the best in class of non-animated superhero movies.
I need to rewatch that apparently.
Spider-Man 3 is very mid. Has some really great stuff in it, and otherwise is pretty rough. But Spider-Man 1 is very good, and then Spider-Man 2 is like, we did it. We took the genre, we made the perfect film, only can ever be matched.
I feel like the Marvel movies did something different than those Spider-Man movies.
They did, and to be clear, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are what I would call a very specific era of interpretation. Like, it's like Silver Age Spider-Man. It is inherently dorky and recognizes it and wears that, but it works because they know what they're doing. I have the really, really hot take. Heath Ledger's Joker is a pretty mediocre performance that literally any actor could have done. Heath Ledger was actually a really great actor, but his performance as the Joker is pretty much just generic madman bad guy.
Haven't seen it in so long. Don't know. Yeah, there is some chance that like
it's a scorching hot take, I know, but I'm saying this as someone who so I have 4 parents total. 2 of them were professional actors, and one of them still is.
And that means that his opinion on acting is better than yours.
I have a little bit of knowledge on this, which is a overacted bad guy that way is the sort of thing that most performers can do pretty easily. Yeah, best Joker is the animated series. I agree. But that's sort of the iconic take on Batman is the Dini-verse Batman. There have been a lot of great Batman animated series, but the Batman animated series is sort of, for many people, the definitive version of all of those characters, myself included.
What do these mouths look like?
Yeah, voiced by Mark Hamill, the idiot painter. What do they look like? Like resin?
Like what other characters from other franchises, things you might recognize?
You know what the one on the right reminds me of?
What's that?
The cover of that role-playing game that was like a set in East Asian cultures made by BioWare that I can't remember the name of. Hang on.
Oh, I'm not sure I know that. They have football heads?
Jade Empire.
I don't know what Jade is.
Yeah, thank you, chat. I think they made it like between Dragon Age and Mass Effect, like 1.
Dragon Age, wow.
Yeah.
I remember Dragon Age. I really wanted to play Dragon Age.
The first Dragon Age is awesome. The second one is okay. Skip everything else.
Where do you guys draw the line for what is considered a hobby? I've been thinking about this today when I heard someone list off an interview watching TV shows and listening to music as a hobby. I feel like you could consider it a hobby when, like, you take the action that you do and you expend some of your time and there's some outcome from that expenditure.
I think there are going to be some differing opinions on this, but the classical definition of hobby is something that you choose to do in your free time for pleasure. In fact, hang on. Dictionary definition on Google is an activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure. So,
sure, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that would include listening to music or watching TV shows or whatever. If you're expressly choosing to do that thing for pleasure, it's a hobby.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, pretty much. Baldur's Gate 3 comes out this week. If you're looking to get back into the RPG game, it looks like that is the game to play. I've been playing a lot of Remnant 2. That game is sick. Having a great time.
I haven't really played many video games lately.
I've been video gaming it up recently.
That's awesome.
I almost didn't go to paint night last night. And then I was like, my brother's probably going to be there. It'd be kind of a dick move not to show up. And then we had the kitten show up.
Nice.
Stopped by and said hi.
Excellent, excellent.
I grunted in acknowledgement of social behaviors. I was very tired. Citizen Perfect, Baldur's Gate 3, as far as I'm aware, literally has nothing to do with Baldur's Gate 2 or 1. Like, it probably has a couple of references to it, but it is not a continuation of the story in any, like, meaningful sense. It is quite simply just an official D&D RPG that is in one of their settings, and it's made by Lyrian Studios, who made Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2, which are both fantastic. So it's just wearing the Baldur's Gate name. But Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, as I recall, were basically unconnected other than the fact that they were made by the same studio. You know, like the story wasn't actually just a continuation of the first one. But it's also been like... Yeah, I didn't play the... I own the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 remasters. I haven't played them, so I don't think I've played those games in like 20 years.
Someone said what I thought these looked like, but they remind me of Bene Gesserit.
Oh yeah, no, that one for sure. I didn't even bother it.
This one also looks a lot like Bene Gesserit.
But the one on the right was like more jester, weird dragon face thing.
This thing?
No.
This thing?
Yeah.
It might not be easy to see, but the only thing showing on her face is her chin and her lips, because she's like kind of throwing her head back up in the air. But yeah, very, very witch-like. I like it a lot. Okay, I got to pin these last two because they have tiny itty-bitty connection points to the base. And if I use just super glue, they'll just pop right off. So let's do some pinning.
Anyway, highly recommend Remnant 2 if you're on the fence about it. Gets my seal of approval.
Very nice.
Very fun. Has the feeling of exploration and discovery. And the devs seem pretty cool. It's win-win. I know, Scott, you probably aren't aware of it at all. It's basically Dark Souls with guns.
Is it like as hard as Dark Souls?
Yes. I have gotten my ass kicked a lot. It's great. Love it. The story is like...
Huddleston, I noticed the nutsack commentary, yes. You know, what it kind of looks like, it reminds me of that, like, the dude, the Star Wars dude, who has, like, a nutsack chin. I think he's the one who dies in the bar, isn't he? In Star Wars? All right, anyways. You may continue the Baldur's Gate chat.
Yeah, it's like it's a city or rather a harbor and region, something like that. But the real fun thing about those games is that they don't take place in Baldur's Gate. Like, you go there, it would be like calling a game Adventures in New York. And then you stop by New York a couple times, but then you wander around the northeastern countryside.
These types of mold lines are very challenging to get rid of.
Mike Genie resubscribed 32 months. Baldur's Gate is my favorite hair loss related controversy.
I'm not sure I understand
I love it. Baldur's Gate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm saying like if you wandered beyond the state, the kitten. I didn't want to say New York City because it's an analog not quite there.
TC Gentry. These are from
Yafsiga.
Yafsiga. Yet another fantasy. Yafsiga. Azathoth said, I've always thought his chin was a different part of the anatomy. Some bums? Bare cheeks, perhaps? Alright, whatever. It's just a bunch of flowy fabric. Who cares if it's perfect? It's all gonna get a nice airbrush gradient anyways. Alright. What's the best part of this robe to pin? Maybe actually just like right in here. I kind of want to do this flat spot that I sanded, but I think I'm just going to come up straight through that fabric right in there. And it's going to be obvious, not much length to pin. So then I'll kind of go right in here. Are they
Captain McLean, I just watched that video right before the stream.
To say he shot first implies Greedo shot at all. Oh, interesting. As for a video, no, they're not.
Not yet.
Not yet. I do want to make a Yafsiga board as a video and like have like a bunch of like crazy RGB LEDs like in the trees and like
now we're talking.
Have like there'd be like color shift pigments in the water and like those pink tufts I had, those would fit right in.
So that kind of update on my LED project.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Mission accomplished.
Nice.
I now have one hollowed the right way where I can insert the LED and then slip in the coin battery and it works and it illuminates the light right in the right spot. It looks sweet. And now I just have to do it to like 5 more.
Okay. And now it should take 1/4 the time.
Now it should not take me fucking 14 hours.
Someone make a Lisa Frank war game. RG Hanomic, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. I missed out on it. Oh, talking about Luisa's. Did she make 2 models?
Hey, the Spain of Plastic is gifting a tier 1 sub.
0G86, later video on Dark Eldar and how you wanted to make it your own. I found the sameness of all the paint schemes making me disinterested in my own models. I almost feel like, what's the point if I do a great job? I'll just make something that looks like everyone else's. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a great point. Although while I'm coming up with a scheme for my army, my thoughts aren't I need to be unique. At least that doesn't feel like my motivation. I just get a lot of maybe that is the core of the motivation. I don't fully know, if I'm being quite honest. But I do get a lot of enjoyment out of just making something my own. But yeah, I'm not sure why. Will you return to the Drakari project soon? I have a really good idea, at least I think, for a razor wing jet fighter. And I'm being very careful about who I'm telling, not because I'm clutching my pearls, but because I really want to avoid the feeling of I completed this task by sharing it with my audience. I think I do that a lot, where I'm like, oh, what if I did this sick idea? And then I like elaborately explain it. And then it's like, then I'll never do it. So I don't want to tease anyone, but I think I have a pretty cool idea for a razor wing jet fighter that I'd love to do. So to answer your question in a long-winded way, yes, I would love to try more Dark Eldar shit. What drill is that? My good drill broke. It is a piece of crap Amazon pin vise. The drill bit set is from the Army Painter because that's what my local game store had.
I stand by the recommendation that the only single-use like specific tool that's worth buying in the hobby is a WoW stick.
A wow stick.
I love my wow sticks so much.
I do have one of those at home.
At the home hobby setup.
Yes.
Which you did use recently.
I did, yes.
My God.
Can we name our sub baby Sigmar? We can. I'll allow it. Yes, that good idea sharing dopamine stops me from starting projects all the time. Wow stick Uber alles. There's actually a decent chunk of foot to really drill through for this pin down here. I'm not sure if they did that intentionally, but it's really working out.
It still scares the crap out of me watching you do that.
Cyber Psychosis, do they have wobbling issues? I know that my drill bit, which is called something, a Dremel, the most common rotary tool brand in the world, at least in America. That one has quite a bit of wobble. That's my only complaint with the tool.
I'll say that the wow stick chuck isn't perfect, but for low speed drilling, it actually doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like mine has maybe a tenth or a quarter of a millimeter variation when it's spinning, but it spins at such a low speed that it's not going to throw your point and make it skitter. So, and I think it varies. The chuck in the things is pretty basic, but that's okay because it's a pin vise that's electric. It's not. It's a much bigger deal for a Dremel to be wobbling, since those can spin up to like 40,000 ripums or whatever.
I think I care less about the bit skittering and like not landing on the mark more than I do like it just making a hole bigger than I expect it to.
Yeah, I mean, both are a problem.
All right. Man, I bought these paper clips from Office Max back in the day when I lived in Wisconsin. And I bought them at the Office Max that was next to the Games Workshop store that I frequented so often. It's just crazy. That was easily over a decade ago, and they're still serving me. It's amazing. My wow stick doesn't wobble. I've never had a wobble with a wow stick. You also have to like look at the bit. Like if basically what I do is I stare at my bit, and then if I turn it on and somehow the silhouette of the tool increases in diameter, that means there's a wobble. The odds are that a low cost electric battery powered rotary tool has some amount of wobble. That's just kind of like how the world works. But it's not like enough to really be that much of a problem. Like we're not like precision machinists over here. Okay. Got one piece. Sometimes I stare at my bits too, Scott. It's normal behavior. My dad is a machinist. Nice. I have the purely drill wow stick. I didn't get the one that works with screw bits, but I possibly should have since I do a lot of electronic tinkering. Yeah, it's nice. How long does green stuff last for you, and do you do anything specific to preserve it? You know, I think what's important is you get containers that are separated. Neatite, the brand, they sell you a green and yellow tube separated, so you're not like having to have like that middle strip in the middle that's touching cure on you. So that's important. I think another thing that's important is that you put it in a sealed container. Speaking of, like storing your green stuff like this is just bad. Like the edges they come into contact with things, they stick to them, they get everywhere. When they separate from the main body, they dry out faster. And so I would say that you want to, at the very least, put it in some kind of sealable container. In my case, I'm just going to do a little plastic baggie. How long does it last for me? Honestly, I don't know, because it sooner like gets attached and stuck to everything than I actually use it all up. You know, it'll dry out before I actually use it all up. All right, that's better. I also put my poster tack in a little baggie just because that stuff sticks to everything and also dries out. Okay. Let's drill some holes in some bases. I think this one is pretty much right in the center. So we'll just kind of drill a hole right in the middle. Atsu says that he was pretty unhappy with his screwdriver version.
If you're buying a thing to drill, just buy the drill.
All right, you can kind of see the pin in there, but that's okay. We'll hide it with a shrub. All right, that is good for a while. This one might, I don't know, that pin didn't go very deep in that foot, but what can you do? I need another base. Is it in here? Nope. All right, time to steal more from the other packaging. Oh no, there it is. Haha! Have you made any progress on your game? I have, I mean, I don't know if you want to call it progress, but I have read a book on game mechanics and finished that. And I also, I should drill a different spot. And I started a new book called The Theory of Fun. So I am very much so in the research phase still of the game development. OSW Zenkiki says that he or she uses the Gorilla brand poster tack, and that stuff is amazing. Never had it dry out. Interesting. Orthodox monks, thanks for the sub, appreciate it. I actually am a precision engineer. A lot of drill wobble is down to cheap chucks and cheap drill bits, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, that could be true. Sorry, not could be true. That is definitely true. Did this thing, I think I have to drill this bit a little bit shorter. All right, now that base isn't gonna wobble. Excellent. Yeah. Got some accelerant on there. Let's clip the excess of that pin. This is where it all goes wrong right here. On weaker pins when I... Okay. All right. We have our Yafseti walkers super glued, cleaned up, and pinned. Let's do some airbrushing. A lot of wobble talk today.
Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Yeah, there is a lot. Other movies that I watch. I watch a lot of movies. That's my watch list, not my review list. I watched the second Rec. I watched Top Gun Maverick. I watched a shitty movie called Miami Connection, but I don't know if anyone's gonna know that one.
Fuck yeah.
And I also watched The Last Wish. You know Miami Connection?
Damn right I do.
Okay.
Including the best song of all time.
Man, I can't remember any songs from that movie because that movie was an excuse to have a ton of action sequence strung together. That movie had very little going on in it other than just action sequences.
The band in that movie is called Dragon Sound.
Oh yeah. The band.
The name of the song is Friends.
Oh my God.
Friends through eternity.
Dude.
Loyalty. Honesty.
I forgot.
We'll stay together through thick or thin.
Dude, the fact that you know half of this song just off the top of your head is amazing.
No. I'm reading the lyrics right now.
Oh my God.
I just know that the song is very present in this movie.
The song is so amazing. It's in how bad it is.
The song reminds me of, I don't know if you remember this meme, Scott, but I'm sure people in chat will remember the fucking national gymnastics competition television broadcast that like blew up online like 6 years ago, where everyone's like doing their promo dances and there's this insipid repeating the Friends Forever song has a very similar vibe, but like it's fucking ridiculous. Sound is fire. Mermaid Murder 666. First time catching the stream. Welcome.
Orthodox says he built or got an Archon, core to the Archon, and a Raider built over the weekend. Nice. But yeah, that movie was insanely bad, and I totally forgot about the music. And that is one of the worst parts of it.
There's a lot to unpack in Miami Connection.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there is. But also, I feel like I had the exact same chat with Stream after I watched the first Top Gun. But Top Gun is getting like a bunch of amazing glowing reviews for like I think has an average rating of 4 or higher. Let me check that.
Original Top Gun?
No, the new one.
The new one is pretty good. The original kind of
This movie has a 4-star average rating. That is very good out of 5. This movie is the most schlockiest military standard boilerplate story known to fucking mankind. It has the
and that's what makes it great.
I know, but like what makes it great is the cool airplanes, the stunts, like all that stuff. But that isn't enough to give it 4 out of 5 stars. It's like
yes, it is.
No, it totally isn't. Okay,
all right.
It
Scott,
isn't.
Here's how you rate movies: expectations set versus expectations met.
That's not good because your expectations are a moving target. You need to have some kind of consistency. I mean, like it's hard to.
That is the consistency. If you promise me that I'm going to get cool jets and Tom Cruise and blowing stuff up and America go, 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 and then the movie delivers on that, I leave a happy man, I leave my 5-star review, I move on. If you promise me a deep inquisition of what it means to be an American service member in the 21st century in a post-war on terror world, and then you give me Tom Cruise flying around and blowing up targets, then I give it 1 star because you didn't deliver on the premise and the promise.
Mike Genie asks, why do you hate beach volleyball, Evan?
The beach volleyball scene is the best scene in the original.
Yeah, that is true. It definitely is. It was that G-rated sex scene. I forgot about the sex scene that was totally like for children. That was fine.
Had to check the box.
It satisfies the 60% of population that only cares about what explodes and nationalism. See, my problem is that there are bazillions of movies that do just that.
Yeah, but this does it better.
Does it? Okay, so that's the thing. It does it better.
I believe so. I mean, like, so we've delivered on the promise, but then we've also delivered on it well because it has very good pacing. It has fun and memorable characters, even if they're completely unrealistic, right? You watch this thing, and if you're like, I was expecting a realistic portrayal of the modern, American naval aviators, and they're just like cartoon characters, and it doesn't make sense. It's like, yeah, it's a cartoon. Relax. Then they execute on it well, right? There's lots of practical work. There's lots of really great VFX work, like to the point that the two are indistinguishable, and a bunch of people are like, oh, it was entirely practical. It's like there are no flying F-14s available to filmmakers, so none of that was practical.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It's got it slightly subverts your expectations in the finale, where it's like, oh, they get shot down. We have a whole nother sequence here. They don't just execute the mission. There's stuff happening.
Yeah.
Why does Scott Steinelrez sound like Dan put rocks in it? Maybe he did.
What? It's just liquid. What up, Broadsword Wargaming? There's a whole metric for how much more money a Tom Cruise, I'm guessing movie, makes based on him running in it or not. No one mentioned Dread with Carl Urban. That one's awesome. How many of those have Tom fucking Cruise, though, Scott? Yeah, dude, checkmate. Afterthought says it's because it's a... Damn it, I forgot. You made some interesting claim. Yeah, okay, here's my problem. There are a million different movies that execute on the exact same themes and expectations that Top Gun does. Both of them, the 80s one and the current one. I feel like I've been baited by everyone into thinking it was going to be a cinematic masterpiece or close to it, and it's just a military movie with really cool practical and visual effects. That's all it is. The characters,
that's what makes it a masterpiece.
The characters are basic. They're not interesting. They do nothing new. The story, not interesting. There's nothing new.
Don't need that. Yep.
I mean, so okay, as long as we're on a similar-ish page, then I know I'm not crazy.
All right, let me put it this way, Scott. It's like Pacific Rim. Right?
Yeah, but Pacific Rim doesn't have 4 stars on Letterboxd. It has a rating it deserves. And all movies like Pacific Rim have a rating it deserves. 12 months. 12 months. Ollie, let's go.
I will also say that the characterization of the people in Pacific Rim is worse. But, yeah, it delivers on its expectations.
Like 1917 is a war movie that deserves a 4-star rating or higher. That was an interesting movie, did different things, had storytelling, good storytelling, interesting, like characters, emotional pull, had all these things you expect a quality movie to have. But like, you know, it's Top Gun, it's not a 4-star movie, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, it is. What did you rate B movie again, Scott?
I don't know, 3? Something like 3?
You're saying that Top Gun wasn't 1 star better than B movie?
Absolutely not.
You're
No,
insane.
absolutely not. B movie.
Insane.
If there are like 5 or 7 buckets that a movie has to execute in order to get 100% an A+ on my rating, the B movie executes in the same number of buckets as Top Gun does.
Insane.
Ergo, it gets the same rating.
Insane.
Like Top Gun wasn't funny really at all, but the B movie was fucking hilarious at many points.
I chuckled at the 2 jokes in Top Gun.
The 2 jokes. You've seen one Tim Cruise. You've seen them all.
That's not true. Tom Cruise is.
No, yeah, he has some.
Come on. Tom Cruise played Les Grossman.
Tom Cruise played. What's the one where he says, "Show me the money"?
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Show me the money. One of my favorite weird YouTube things of all time was when Mike Diva did Jerry Maguire week with a whole bunch of Jerry Maguire themed bizarre like remixes and stuff.
That's the only reason I know who Jerry Maguire is.
Show me the money, show me the money, show me the money.
Yeah, that song is crazy.
It's fucking bizarre. Mike Diva is a trip.
I laughed at the concept of an entire bar of 20-something pilots knowing every word of the Great Balls of Fire. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, that was a joke. You're right. But let me tell you, the sound mix on Top Gun was fucking primo.
That's what makes it a masterpiece.
It was an amazing movie to watch for that reason.
It's just like, the thing is you're right that it's not pushing any new story boundaries, but Oh yeah, that's the shot, baby. It's just the back of your head.
Yeah.
It doesn't push any new story boundaries. It's not telling a new story or anything like that. It's just like what it aims to deliver on, it executes perfectly. Right? There's no weak effects. There's no part of the movie that you're just like, oh, this isn't as good. They kind of phoned this in. It's just like, we did it. We got there. We did the thing. We did it perfectly.
Sure. Yeah.
And so if you're talking about a movie that was like, quote, bringing people back into theaters, it's the perfect thing for it. Because that movie slayed on like IMAX screens. Shit was awesome.
I agree. I
Like,
don't think it deserves 4 stars.
That makes it didn't attempt to do anything that it didn't want to, and so it didn't fail on any level.
I mean, it attempted to have dialogue and story, and it was all bad.
It wasn't bad.
Sorry, it was incredibly mediocre.
It was exactly in service of get us to the next big explosion.
But one might say that because it is there, and it's trying to, be there, it is noticeable how mediocre it is.
Well, no, I don't think that it's like, it's only mediocre in the sense of if we're trying to compare it to something like an Aaron Sorkin movie or whatever, where like the point is the dialogue. The point of that dialogue is to get you to the next set piece and establish it, and they do that.
We
did it. We achieved our
being
goal.
Noticeably bad.
I disagree.
Okay. There were several moments while I was watching the movie where I laughed out loud at how just like basic and trivial what was being said. Or like just was total military just porn, just like vomit. Like in the very beginning of the movie, like Tom Cruise goes to his like superiors and they give him the lowdown on the movie. Me and Amber paused the movie in that moment and we're like, is this gonna be just like a total just like military like kind of war movie? Because like they use so many like terms and so many like descriptions that I had no idea what they meant. And I was like, is this gonna be like what this movie looks like for the rest of the runtime? And it wasn't, but like they did do that, at least in the beginning. They definitely backed off of that later on though.
As the Thoth kind of has it. You watched a movie about fighter pilots and were surprised it was a military movie?
Have you seen the first one? First one doesn't have a lot of military schlock in it.
Okay. I disagree strongly on that one.
The first one doesn't even have a story, if I'm being quite honest. At least, okay, here's what I'll say. At least the second one had a story, a plot. They were going and doing something.
The first one literally could be called Top Gun Maverick Goes to School.
Yeah. It was like a training, like the big climax was a training lesson, wasn't it? Or something like that?
Well, no, there's a payoff at the very end where they get scrambled out to have a confrontation and shoot down a couple planes.
Okay. So
and then Iceman says to Maverick, "You could be my wingman anytime." And then they start making out. I do think that it's really funny that maybe the most memorable story deconstruction of that movie is the monologue that Quentin Tarantino has in his appearance in a movie he didn't write or direct, talking about how Top Gun is a metaphor for being gay and closeted and how perfectly it fits like the whole thing, where he goes to the love interest's house and doesn't have sex with her and instead goes to play beach volleyball with the boys.
And that one fucking song that's played 30 times. What is that 180 song that's played 30 times in the first Top Gun?
Danger Zone?
Danger Zone, that's what it is.
Oh, and Take My Breath Away, yeah. There's a few things that show up quite a few times in that movie. I do think that the original Top Gun has one of the best intros of any movie ever made.
They did the same thing in the
They did.
next one.
They were like, play the hits, do it again.
Yeah.
The original does it a little bit better, but that's okay.
They even tried to digitally do what the filter did in the original one, with like the orange horizon,
yes,
and like the darkened sky, orange like lower half. I don't know what it was.
As I recall, on the original, they were shooting that at dawn to enhance that effect. And then they were like, "We're going to shoot this whole movie at dawn and sunset. We're going to go beyond the golden hour."
Yes, I forget what the name of that filter is, but it's a pretty classic one.
Yeah.
Top Gun 1 gave us peak Val Kilmer. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like
you can be my wingman anytime.
I feel like I was trolled both times when I saw the first Top Gun, thinking it was going to be a cinematic masterpiece, and the second time. I just don't get it. I feel like if that movie is special for the reasons that it's special, then so many movies are special in that same way.
Well, so many movies fail to execute in that way.
Maybe I'm not seeing the magic.
Maybe you're doing a disservice by watching it on a small screen, even with the good sound system.
A small screen? I have like a 70-inch TV. That's pretty big.
Yeah,
I'm like
that's
sitting
not,
like
that's not 150 feet or whatever.
Okay, fine.
Minnesota Zoo IMAX.
Scott is correct. He doesn't get it. No, I mean I do get it now that it is explained. But I just disagree. I don't think that is what makes a 4-star movie, or a 4 out of 5-star movie, I should say. But no, I understand that I don't understand now. If that makes any sense. There's a Vic.
I'm just a big fan of judging things on the scale of what they attempt and set out to do.
Well, it's like what you think they're setting out to do, really.
Well, sure, there's a little bit of that, but it's kind of like if we hold everyone to the exact same standards.
Then we can be consistent.
No, because then you have the problem of, oh, sorry, you didn't have a $100 million budget, so your effects aren't as good, so you lose a star.
That's not true.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
If
we're holding everyone to the exact same standards and we have different metrics, and you're like, oh, sorry, you didn't have access to real film cameras, so your movie is worse now because I have to judge you by the same metric as the $200 million feature. I don't have to do that. Absolutely not.
You do not need $1 million to make an amazing movie.
You're right.
That's proven time and time again.
But you do need a lot of money to make an amazing-looking effects feature.
Yeah, sure. But like I've seen so many movies that I would give 4 stars to that were not like insanely like rich produced movies. So I don't think that is a requirement. Like money, I don't think money is a requirement to make a great movie.
Some amount of money is required to make a great movie.
Maybe.
And if you're trying to make a great action set piece film that has fighter jets or giant robots or whatever, you're going to need a real effects budget in order to truly execute on that vision. But if I hold it against them that they just didn't have the budget to make it happen, even though the staging was right and the story is right and the scenes are exciting and it delivers, it's kind of like going back and looking at a movie from the 80s and being like, yeah, well, the effects aren't as good as the movie made today, so it loses stars. I just don't think that's right.
I would agree with you. I do not think that's right.
I think if the effects execute on their vision as best that they can do, and they aren't holding back the stories or features, right? It still delivers. It feels right in the moment. Then it's great.
What's the chat saying here? Bringing it back to Batman. Val Kilmer is only second to Keaton. Val Kilmer, top 3. So I've wanted to watch. I've tried to watch. Not tried. I've thought about watching Heat so many times, and I haven't watched it yet. But I would love to.
Moving up the list, if you took Aliens off of it.
I did. Yeah, we got Aliens. Aliens was great.
You know, you talk about movies that have like incredible sound work. Heat
does
maybe the best audio for a shootout like ever.
That's promising. I do want to watch Heat. I think there's time to derate something for effects that don't stand up to time. I mean, I would never do that. I would never go through the trouble of reducing something's rate because the standard of visual effects is higher. But I guess you could do that. But yeah, that's going an extra level.
how's chat enjoying looking at Scott's hair out of focus?
You enjoying my hair out of focus, chat? You know, producer, you could tell me when I'm doing that. Every time. That is what I like to imagine. One of your primary functions. All right. All 5 primed up. Looking good. Sky's gray hair. Thank you, Flossmith. Appreciate it. There's old effects that stand up to time, and then there's visual effects that were good for the time but don't last. That's true. There's a lot of practical effects that really do like live up to modern day standards.
In some ways, like I just said in chat, there's stuff that works in a lot of these movies, but it doesn't look actually real. And so, like, the standard of today is often, does it look actually real?
Yeah.
I need my effects to be perfect these days. But, like, yeah, Yoda. Original Yoda's charming and wonderful and very good, but, like, it's clearly a Muppet. I'm sorry. It looks better than the prequels because they did not pull it off there because the technology wasn't there yet. But that doesn't mean that original Yoda's perfect. It's just a really good puppet.
Kanoko is asking, what PSI should you be on? You should be on a higher PSI if you are base coating and priming, and you should be on a lower PSI if you're doing detail work. I would say that it floats between 30 and 25 for priming and base coating, and like 20 to 15 for detail work. But it depends on a lot of things. You should check out my airbrush video to figure out what it depends on. Someone asked if I learned anything new about airbrushes that I would make a video about. And I think I might. I think I have, but nothing like revolutionary. Nothing that's like changing anything massive. It'd be like my painting videos that have like very, very nuanced information in them, for better or for worse. I haven't like really recently watched a Star Wars movie with Yoda in it, so it's hard to comment on the Yoda. But from what I can remember, it seems like not bad to the point where it's distracting. Right, that's kind of my metric.
That's sort of what I'm talking about when I'm saying do the effects fit the movie, right? When an effect is bad, I don't mean like it's not perfect looking. I mean, that pulls me out of this feature. That doesn't match this other stuff, right?
Right.
So the original Yoda works on that metric, even though it's not like it doesn't look like a real living creature. His mouth doesn't move right. It's obviously very limited, but they know what they're doing and they shoot around that, and it's masterfully puppeted and all that stuff.
Is that my wife? Hello, wife.
And then you do have the actual perfect puppets, like in Jurassic Park.
Your head's getting cut off.
I can see.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
That's good. Everyone say hi to Mrs. Miniac.
So what you did for your 10-year anniversary was change your names to Scott Miniac?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. We mentioned earlier how these models seem like Bene Gesserit, and part of me wants to paint them in black clothing because I want to be able to use them as Bene Gesserit when I play other games that might include them. But also, black is such a boring color. It's so boring. It's not necessarily boring, but it's very challenging to paint. Yeah. Amber, come back and tell Scott why he's wrong about Top Gun. Yes, Amber, tell me why my opinion about Top Gun is incorrect.
We have the same opinion.
We both watched it and had the same reaction to the first one and the second one.
That it was the greatest 4 out of 5 movie you've ever seen in your life.
They're both just so cheesy.
That's fine. That's the point.
If that's the point, sure, it did a good job. But like, we were going in because people said it was good.
I mean, cheesy and good are not mutually exclusive.
That is true, but
we have to know it's good because it's cheesy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's definitely good because it's cheesy. Yeah. I mean, like, it's like a good old-fashioned hamburger, right? I don't need anything fancy. I need good beef, I need good cheese, and a nice bun. And that's what it is.
That's true.
Amber gives up easier than I do. Did I read the Dune books? I did not.
Scott doesn't know how to read.
Um,
What you're seeing is just a parlor trick.
Yeah. As thoughts as Amber, no! Make them honored mothers, maters, matres, and paint them red. Okay, so there are other options for Bene Gesserit, which that is cool. I didn't know that. I might make them red and then do like, or sorry, make them black and then do like the netting on like, some of these guys have like textured, like this guy's got a textured head, she's got textured sleeves, this person's got like a netting like under their dress and also like on top. I might do that in a different color and paint the rest in black, something like that. Black and gold, yeah, black and gold would do me just fine. All right, let's start with some gray. Let's start with some Eshin gray from GW, a nice satin paint. Satin paint is helpful when doing black just because it really gives you a nice depth. So the primer I used as well, Badger Stynylrez, Res, which is the primer I use all the time, is also a little satin. You can see it has a little bit of a sheen. You can see all the volumes on the black. If it were matte, it would seem more like one flat object, but it isn't that way. So let's get some gray going. The honored mothers are like the Sith to the Bene Gesserit. I'm not aware of any hierarchy inside of the Sith. I thought that, I mean, other than like trainee and master, that's all I'm familiar with. Is that what you're referring to? They're the baddies. I like the baddies. All right, we need a paintbrush for mixing in my cup like a heathen. I don't know about the Yoda backflip fighting scene. It's obvious he was using the Force to move his body around. I would be a lazy Jedi and just move the lightsaber around with the Force while I was constantly switching my opponent's lightsaber off. Classic, dude. I mean, that's too easy an answer. You know, that can't be how it works. The honored mothers only come in once the novels go fully off the crazy rails. I think I might need more paint than this to do all 5 of these ladies. And I think there's one of them's a dude. Or 2 of them are, it's hard to tell. They're fully covered in robes. They control people through sex? Whoa.
Now we're talking.
Top Gun Maverick does steal some of its best moments from A New Hope. They even have a Han Solo saving the heroes at the end when they're escaping the bombing target.
My God, action movies are derivative of each other? Common story beats in my hero's journey type film?
How could they?
Next you're going to tell me that Star Wars did the same thing. You're telling me that Darth Vader isn't an original character, but is instead clearly based on samurai lore, including in appearance? The weapons and iconography were stolen from Japanese filmmakers?
Evan's mad that everyone hates Top Gun.
No, I'm just saying that sort of criticism often falls flat.
Oh, that people are stealing from each other?
That, like, when we're talking about basic adventure action movies...
Oh, it's basic? It's a basic action adventure movie?
Yeah.
Should it be given 4 to 5 stars then?
Just like Star Wars.
That doesn't deserve 4 stars either.
You're saying A New Hope doesn't deserve 4 stars?
I'm trying to think why. I mean, I think I gave it 4 stars because I am nostalgic for it because I watched it when I was a kid. But does it deserve that? Probably not. Although I can't objectively view Star Wars.
Well, I'll tell you what. It has a 4.2 on Letterboxd.
I bet it does. I bet it's actually,
not even the best Star Wars movie,
which
is the following.
Give me what do all the Star Wars movies have?
Well, let's see. We've got.
I feel like they're all probably over 4, like the main ones, not like
the original trilogy. I would not be surprised if Return of the Jedi is actually a little bit lower. Let's see here. So Star Wars is 4.2. No delineation between that and the special edition and all that stuff. So we can't unpack that. Empire Strikes Back. Empire.
I am planning to come back with black ink to really kind of trim this up a little bit.
The Empire Strikes Back is a little higher at 4.4. And Return of the Jedi is 4.0. So it is the lowest rated of the 3.
All 4-star movies.
All 4-star or above. And I would roughly agree with those ratings. I mean, like, A New Hope is basically just a remake of The Hidden Fortress.
I don't know what that is.
Let's see what that's rated. It's a 1958 Japanese film. Akira Kurosawa, 4.1. So George Lucas apparently did it better. You would like The Hidden Fortress, Scott. You're a film buff. It is. You'll be like, wow, it's Star Wars. Because it straight up is.
Hidden Fortress?
Yeah, The Hidden Fortress. 1958 Akira Kurosawa film.
I've heard this name before.
Wait. You don't know about Akira Kurosawa?
I've heard this name before.
Okay.
Let's see what movies I've also heard of.
I mean, you've heard of The Seventh Samurai before.
Yeah, I've heard of Yojimbo.
Yep, Yojimbo.
I've heard of Akiru.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, I think.
Yeah, sure.
I'll add this to my watch list.
I need to watch the rest of his movies. I've watched like 6 of them, I think. Maybe 7.
It's probably a Criterion.
Watched Throne of Blood. Song of the Horse.
He makes mad films. Like they're crazy. I'd be shocked if Scott didn't like any Kurosawa movies.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with that. I think Scott would be very happy to watch pretty much any of his films. But The Hidden Fortress is straight up like George Lucas watched that and did the pointing at the TV meme like that. I'm gonna do that.
I want that.
And then he was like, I'm just gonna do that, but like inject some like Buckaroo Banzai and some other spacey stuff. Got it. We're there.
Spacey stuff.
Yeah, and Flash Gordon. Yep.
Flash Gordon is fantastic. That movie is crazy.
Hey, when you just can't figure out what to do for music, and you're like, you know what? That Queen band is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just go nuts, guys. You can do everything.
And it was the right choice, you know?
That movie is the definition of not good, but is great.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Like-
the reason that it's not good is that it fails to execute on basic story functions. It like jumps around and it's weird and doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it's fine because it's also like, what the hell is happening here? Why does that man have a football?
See, I can't separate the idea that Top Gun isn't failing in the same way that Flash Gordon is. You know? All right. I think I'm starting to dial in the amount of mid-gray I want on these models, but I'm still going to need to do some corrective work with black ink here. Getting Queen of the Year soundtrack does help, indeed.
Well, it's a 3.2 on Letterboxd.
Yeah. I mean, that's too high. That movie should be like a 1.5. Or no. No, not a 1.5. Probably like a 2.5. Like, because the prop department went so fucking hard. in
Yeah,
that
that's
movie.
yeah. There's a few areas that movie just fucking nails it.
Yeah.
Props,
Definitely the music.
costumes. Some of the sets are really great. Obviously, the music is a trip.
Oh yeah, like the set where like they're in like a giant treehouse, right?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, some of it is fucking fantastic, and other stuff is pretty weak. And that's sort of what I mean of like judging it on how it executes. Like there are some sets that are forgettable to the point that they might as well be acting in front of like one of those television gradient backgrounds. You know what I mean? Like a big screen with 2 color lights projected on it. And then
Yeah.
other ones are like that forest tree people set that's just like, wow.
This is what I like about Letterboxd, because you can rate a movie and then you can say if you liked it or not. So I have so many movies that I've won between a half and also 2.5 stars that I have rated poorly but also have liked. And that, that's where Top Gun lives for you, Evan. It's a 2-star movie that you like. Season finale. 14 months of subbing. Thank you, sir. Superfluous Pink asks, if you had to write a sequel to a solo movie that does definitely not deserve one. Oh, okay.
Jupiter Ascending, for sure.
I see. I was gonna say the movie with Keanu Reeves where he's killing demons and shit.
Oh, Constantine.
But that movie deserves one, does it not?
That movie does deserve a sequel.
So I don't know how to answer.
Jupiter Ascending doesn't deserve a sequel, but definitely does. Because it is the ultimate example of just like, yeah, fuck it. It's a D&D campaign. We're making it into a movie. Yeah, the guy's like a fucking space dog man, and he has rollerblades that work in the sky because they took his wings, so he has to rollerblade places. Fuck it. Just send it.
Atatha says, Top Gun objectively, this piece of art isn't a 2-star movie. A more reasonable take is that Top Gun is a 4-star movie that Scott doesn't like. I mean, I don't know. Like, if you want to throw out the word objective.
Well, I'll tell you what.
No. Evan, shut up. What makes a movie objectively good, Atatha?
I'll tell you what, Scott.
Give me the
best thing that I can point to as an objective metric is an aggregate rating between all viewers. And the hive mind has spoken.
You got me. I've lost.
Like, is it maybe getting some bonus points for the patriotism or presentation on the big screen? Yeah, maybe. But I can't unpack that because they don't let you delineate the score by like different categories. Like if we had star ratings for like story, if you could rate each actor, right, like the roles of the film, then yeah, it would have a couple of spots where it's weak, but most of the board, it would be putting up 5s, right? Effects, pacing, nails it. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5.
The hive mind can never be wrong. We're going to need to go into philosophy for this.
The hive mind can be wrong in the moment, but I don't think it can be wrong in retrospect.
The hive mind is definitely wrong about Episode 8 Star Wars. Let me tell you that. Can we agree on that, please?
I don't know what you think the hive mind thinks and what you think.
I think the hive mind. Okay, I haven't looked at the reviews of that movie in a long time, but
Because that movie fucking sucks.
That movie sucked. And like when it first came out, the rating dropped. And then it rose so rapidly. Because I think there was a lot of people that were like pushing back on like how shit of a movie that was. But I can't remember. Yeah, no, I hate that movie. The movie sucks.
Just wanted to make sure we were on the same page about this.
Yeah.
Because
we're not on the same page about Top Gun, though.
Can we at least agree that Top Gun was a much better movie than that?
Yeah. I would much rather watch Top Gun Maverick and the first one than that movie, for sure.
Yeah.
A number of features that can be assessed relatively objectively. Something like acting, which was terrible in that movie. Aesthetic, kind of hard to judge. Maybe like...
What are you talking about? The acting was fine in Top Gun.
Exactly. It was fine.
It wasn't terrible.
It was
fine.
Sorry, it wasn't
fine.
Terrible, but it was mediocre. Nothing about...
I wouldn't even go that long.
I would. It was not good. It was not good. Nothing
was good because there wasn't anything that was bad about it.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. There was a scene with what's her name? Colleen? No, what's the sexy lady's name?
I don't remember.
Anyways, there's a scene with her and the guy, Tom Cruise.
The Top Gun guy?
Yeah, the Top Gun guy. You know that guy.
Yeah.
The guy who drives motorcycles off of cliffs for fun, like 5 times in a row. Where they're like, he is like, he got fired from the Navy, and he like goes to her, and it's like this is sunset, and he like drove his bike there, and he's like, I don't know what to do, what do I do? And she's like, you never let that stop you before, did it? And it's like, it's so cringe. The whole thing is so just bog standard like acting. It's nothing special, and it's so noticeable how unspecial it is. It's like there are a couple of things like that for me littered throughout the movie.
Yeah, but noticeably unspecial is not bad.
I think when it's like, so mediocre that I take note of it, that makes it kind of bad.
All right.
Anyways, what else he was saying was narrative.
All right, so we
that's it. Acting, aesthetic, and narrative.
Those are heavily subjective, but the technical aspects of the film can have an earnest and objective take, and Top Gun executes them well, and I'd agree with that.
Okay, so what you're saying is the things that are only quantifiable are what go into that 4-star rating. Like maybe, yeah.
I think that when you're talking about all of the technical aspects of the filmmaking, I think there are some things that are more broadly applicable, like pacing and editing. But yeah, you get down to more and more into individual taste as you dial down into the art of acting and the art of writing. But how a film is written and how it actually paces out aren't necessarily the same thing, because you're now talking about editing and scene-to-scene transition and flow and so on.
Yeah.
You know, you could have the same script 2 different ways, and one of them takes 20 minutes and the other one takes 2. And depending on what the content you're talking about is, either one may be correct, but on the script they would look the same.
As the thought says, read the rest of the sentence before you begin your tirade. Yeah, I blame Evan. He slows me down. Because I argue and then he argues me, and then we don't make any progress. Have you seen Highlander? I have seen Highlander. It's pretty great. Sometimes bad acting is on purpose. Yeah, like Control 2. It's terrible, but it's great. All right. Guys, Top Gun is tearing us apart. It is. What are we doing, guys? People giving Top Gun a 4 or Star Wars a 4 aren't doing it strictly because it's technically well executed. Yeah, you know what? I don't think of Star Wars the same way as I think of Top Gun, but it is. It's the same. What's like the third Avengers movie got? What did that get?
You mean Avengers Endgame?
No, is that the third one? Endgame?
I don't know, man. Hang on, let me just look at what Avengers films there are.
What do the Avengers movies get?
Avengers. Oh, no, that's all of the Marvel movies. I just want the Avengers. God damn it. Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, and Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I know
original Avengers is a 3.6.
Wow, okay. That's actually kind of shocking.
Avengers Infinity War is a 3.9. Avengers Endgame is also a 3.9. And Age of Ultron is a 3.1.
Yeah, that one was kind of very forgettable.
I really liked James Spader as Ultron. I didn't like
Who is James Spader?
The guy that plays Ultron.
But he's like a giant robot.
Yeah. I mean, he's the voice of Ultron in the movie. I don't know if he did any of the mocap work or whatever. But he's been in a bunch of stuff. He's the old guy in the TV show The Blacklist.
James Spader. Oh, Stargate? Okay. I know Stargate, the movie Stargate. James, that name sounds familiar too. James Spader, cast and crew.
He's been in a...
Oh, fuck, this guy. Okay,
yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff. He was in Secretary. Shout out to all my Secretary fans.
What have I seen with James Spader? Stargate. Did you say he was in The Office?
Don't think so.
Because he's like a new manager.
Oh yeah, he might have been in a couple episodes. I don't know, but like, not a recurring role.
Okay, so I'm a little bit shocked that the Avengers movies. I know Endgame did really well, right? That got a 4, right?
Nope, 3.9.
That blows me away. That blows me away that isn't in the same like band of reviewers that Star Wars and also the other one is Top Gun Maverick. What's chat? What's your theory on that? Why is that the case? Okay, this is still sputtering out, which means that I'm using too low a PSI if I'm getting speckling. I'll turn up the PSI a little bit. I also put thinner in there, and my estimate is that the thinner hasn't yet got to the part that's actually in the front of the airbrush. So if I just kind of like keep spraying it out, I'll get to a point where I get to that thinner stuff. How many are we low?
All right, Scott, you know what's going to make you really happy?
What's that?
What is the highest rated Marvel film currently on Letterboxd, do you think?
What's going to make me happy? Is it the Sam Raimi one? Is it the Multiverse of Madness?
No, it's not.
Fuck. The first one, Iron Man 1.
No.
Okay, I don't know then.
Guardians of the Galaxy, baby. 4.0. Can't argue with the hive mind. That is rated. God, Spider-Man No Way Home is better than that movie. I'm sorry. It's not even that great of a movie, but it is better than the first Guardians of the Galaxy. That has a 3 point. Guardians of the Galaxy is a 4.0. Sorry, excuse me. That's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 also has a 3 point.
Ragnarok? I feel like I didn't really like any of the Thor movies, but I want to stop arguing with my chat. Fuck the MCU Spider-Mans. They're all movies that cannot stand on their own.
Yep.
Honestly, Homecoming was fine for me. The thing that I remember about Homecoming, I don't know if I saw the rest of them, but Homecoming was okay because when I watched that, I felt like Spider-Man was a kid. He felt like a child.
I agree. I like the MCU Spider-Man movies, but they just aren't as good as the Sam Raimi ones. I think when they say they can't stand on their own, I think the key is they're leaning on building from other films. I think if your first Marvel movie you ever watched was one of the Spider-Man films, you wouldn't be like left not knowing who anyone was or whatever, but it would feel like the movie didn't really establish itself. Also, framing.
Shit, sorry.
Yeah, you like to get in line with your airbrush, and then you move your head right in front of the camera.
My bad.
So, I don't hate on the Marvel stuff. I enjoy a lot of it. I definitely disagree with some of the specific ordering here.
But yeah, Azathoth made a good point. He's like, we're trying to delineate between a movie that's rated at a 3.9 and one that's rated at a 4.0. There's not much room to really figure out what's going on there. I'm just kind of commenting on the fact that all Marvel movies are 4 and below, or some even as low as 3.6, but you are right. They're all fairly close.
Yeah, what is the lowest score? The second Thor movie is
Dark something?
The Dark World.
Dark World.
Which objectively sucks with a 2.2. Wow, Ant-Man Quantumania only got a 2.4. It's probably because I didn't go to see it.
I'm gonna put even more thinner in this. I feel like we're really not thin at all. I'm getting lots of splattering. I don't know if you can really see it on that black, but it's not good looking. Did you see the new Underworld Warband that's coming out in 2 weeks? No? Maybe? I might have. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, fuck. My mic fucked? Checking? Chat? Checking?
Seems fine.
1, 2, 3? Okay, cool. All good? Good. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to add some more thinner in here just to really kind of...
I still wish that we got the Ant-Man that we should have. Because some of the pre-production and script work was done by... Oh my god, my brain is blanking. I can only think of Sam Raimi now.
You got it. Ed?
Edgar Wright, yeah.
I'm really struggling here with...
You put Stynylrez through that thing, right?
I did, but I mean, I cleaned it out pretty thoroughly. But I'm going to take a step back here and maybe do this entirely with inks and not with scale 75 paint. Also take the needle out, get a nice good clean on that as well. Cause I'm getting constant speckling right now, and for a nice black smooth gradient, it's not good for me.
Damn, people did not like the Multiverse of Madness.
Just scoot your chair to the right. I could try that. People didn't like that. That one, that was one of my favorite ones.
I agree.
Cast.
But that's because that was like one of the more artistic and had things to say. But I will say that its effects weren't as good as the first Doctor Strange.
Really?
Yep.
I guess it's kind of hard to notice.
I still think that the first Doctor Strange has some of the best effects of any movie ever made.
Yeah, that one is incredible.
The fucking rewinding time and putting the guys into walls and stuff, and it's like photorealistic. The way the buildings folded, it was like the Inception stuff, but looked better by a lot. It was wild how good the effects looked in that movie.
Yeah.
Had no business looking that good. But that movie, like, script-wise, it was fine. I enjoyed it. But it wasn't as fun. Multiverse of Madness felt a lot more fun.
Yeah.
But didn't look as good.
There's a moment in Multiverse of Madness where Scarlet Witch snaps Xavier's neck, and it is like truly horrific. It's like
yeah.
awesome.
That movie was definitely much more dark action than Marvel normally goes to.
I know, yeah, it was really cool.
It was fucking brutal.
There's a lot of weird shit going on in that movie too. Like there's the fucking Illuminati shows up, but
well, I mean, also that was my biggest problem with the first Doctor Strange was it wasn't fucking weird enough. Because it's like, you've got like wizards operating in the shadows, so they do all this wild shit. And the first movie was just kind of like, let's genericize it as much as possible. And then the second one was like, yeah, let's go hard. Fuck it. We got all these weird wizardy things laying around. They do wild shit. There might be side effects to using this spell. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. It was supposed to be rated R. Now we're talking.
It's good. If you haven't seen MOM, like if you're like me and you haven't seen it yet because you are afraid that you have to watch a TV show to understand what's going on, don't be afraid. There's not that much that's confusing that if you haven't seen the show, you're not going to understand.
Be not afraid.
It's good.
Oh yeah, we looked at these on stream a little while back. The Skaven with like the cool puffs of smoke.
The puffs of smoke?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we looked at these on.
Yeah, you're right, actually, Joda. All of those people in that alternate universe, all those superheroes that get nuked.
Unwinding Mr. Fantastic and like unraveling him was pretty horrifying.
Yeah. That whole part is pretty brutal.
Yeah, I'm down.
JTP, what are you saying about context? Multiverses. Scott hates Ratmen. I hate some Ratmen. Others I really like. I really like the big rats, the really big rats. Like what are they called? I forget. Those ones are really cool though. No idea what chat loves about Shang-Chi. I have not seen Shang-Chi.
I will tell you that Spider-Man 2 has a 3.9, which is a very solid rating. Evil Dead 2 has a 4.0. That's Sam Raimi's highest rated film.
Nice. GW could do with more animal people. Not thankful.
I don't know. They've got a lot of animal people.
Not thankful. The rats that are even not fatter, but like larger, taller than thankful. I forget though what not the storm fiends are like just slightly bigger clan rats. The the model is like this tall. Looking in the webcam, it's like 70 to 100 millimeter tall. And they're not called storm fiends, aren't they? Those are just standard ones. There's like 3 variants of them. Someone fucking knows what this is. Come on.
Gonna just type in Big Skaven. Come on.
The huge goat Skaven?
Oh boy. Watch our computer crash.
Wait, oh, storm vermin. Sorry, yeah, not.
You're a storm vermin.
I don't think it's storm fiend. No, it's not storm fiend. I'm sorry, I'm confused. I used to always. I can remember the name of these guys. I'm a little bit blown away that no one's got this yet. Vermin Lord. Boom! Thank you, Coronary Jump. Those models are sick. Also, I like Queek Head Taker. Also, I like the Underworld's warbands.
Vermin Lord.
Huge goat Skaven.
You're a goat Skaven.
Thank you. I'm actually going to boost up the value of this black ink with some cerulean blue as well, just to make it a little bit colder. So I'll use white and this kind of teal color. What's up?
We just lost connection.
To the internet?
Mm-hmm. Or lost connection to Twitch, anyway.
Oh, we're doing this thing where we're 2 hours in, shits itself?
Reconnection successful. Yeah, and we were 2 hours in. Okay, sure. You were saying that you were going to pump up the blacks with some cerulean blue.
Yes. I'm going to put some more white ink in here and also some more cerulean blue ink in here just to lighten it up but also cool it off, like I was trying to do with Scale 75 Arctic Blue. Scott's keeping it family friendly by shaking above the table. I don't want anyone thinking I'm doing anything otherwise.
Scott likes to shake under the table, though.
Ugh. All right, we got it.
How many subs do we have so far?
Hey, where's the little thing?
You know what? I think we're there. I think that the bar probably didn't update because of an error somewhere between the wall behind me and the desk. So give me 1 second here and check.
Okay. I'm running out of white ink.
Maybe not. Is the sub goal going?
It doesn't matter because I can't win for the next 11 months. Feels bad, man.
Rip. My sample goal. Well, that's not right. Why does it say my sample goal? Yeah, it definitely hasn't been updating. But you know what?
We're arguing about Shang-Chi in the chat right now. I see Aquafina being mentioned.
20. If 28 is where we started, we're way past that. So let me just set up this giveaway, and we're gonna do it. Good call. Thanks for reminding me.
All right.
All right. Cornflake Justice. Oh, I had to reset the stream. I missed all the shaking.
Whoop.
Whoop.
There we go. Now we're not getting...
I wish that the stream could see.
Now we're not getting... speckling for days.
Even now, the evil back of your head is blocking half the frame.
What? Right now?
Now it's a third of the frame.
I don't... Maybe the chat is blocking the frame, but it's not blocking the mini, right?
When you were blocking half of it, you were just touching the mini.
Okay.
Even now, the evil seed of what you've done germinates within you.
All right, let's start to work on a different model so that we can actually see what is going on. Oh, I don't know if I hit that one with gray paint. Whoops. Oh, well, we'll just do it with this paint. Fuck it. Getting some good sidebird cam. Rips. All right, ready to go right here. And then...
All right, boys, I'm starting the giveaway. Exclamation mark moist in the chat to enter. Please do not enter if you're in an area that doesn't allow you to enter into giveaways. We're giving away one bag of minis. It's a plastic bag. It's like a Ziploc freezer bag. It's got some stuff in it. If you've won, since we instituted our no double winners policy in the last, well, if you're one of those winners, then you're not eligible. But otherwise, feel free to enter. Like I said, exclamation mark moist. We only do this because you guys support the stream so well, and because you remind me that you supported the stream so well. What kind of minis are in the bag? Well, I'm looking at one character that appears to have like a... is that part of her head? Hang on. Wearing a headdress that looks like it's made out of like bat wings or something. There's another one that's got a tail. So they're fantasy minis. Slexagon, it is your responsibility to know your local law. I cannot give you legal advice on the matter. Just have to be a follower of the channel so that I can send you messages to get your details and do the bit, which we haven't done in a while because we've been streaming on YouTube. Let me figure out where we actually were. Fairness. See you later.
See you later, Alex.
I have good news. Not only did we reach our giveaway target for this one, we're 32 along the way to the next one.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, 31. I was counting one of the raids. Wow. apparently can't type today. No one saw that. It's fine.
All right, see a mermaid murder 666. Have a good sleep. I still need to wrap my head around how the Chalice Knights work as a warband in Yafsiga. It's 3 minis, 4 with the Baron in the cart. Okay, if I can be totally honest with you, you don't necessarily buy a faction that comes with faction-specific rules in Yafsiga. It's actually a little bit of a... If I had known this when I was reviewing the game, I would have said this was a negative thing about the game.
Uh-oh. Time to hate on Blackside Studios.
I mean, the one thing I don't like about the game, which you do get a little bit more of when you are in the campaign version of the game, is that none of the factions are like... They don't feel like they are special. Because when you build a warband in this game, it's much like you would do it in an RPG. Every character has the same stat line, and there are 3 stats that you get to assign yourself. I think it's physical, and there's 2 others, but you can give, there's 3 stats, and you can give each one a 7, a 6, or a 5. And you can change that up however you want, but one stat needs to be a 7, one needs to be a 6, and one needs to be a 5. Beyond that, you pay for items and stuff like that that make your characters feel more special, but there is no limitation. Like, everyone gets access to the same lists. Furthermore, when it comes to making a list, you need an ace, a king, a queen, and a jack. You need things to represent all of those cards. And each of those cards can be a single model or a group of models. So there are 4 cards, 4 Chalice Knights. Means that you could have a warband of 4 solo members. Here you go.
Chat, it's nut time.
Nut time! But yeah, that is how you make a Chalice Knight warband. Unfortunately, it's not very exciting. Okay. I think part of me wants to go to pure white, but also another part of me doesn't think it's going to make much of a difference.
He has it. I know.
What? What's the problem?
This giveaway?
Yeah.
No address for it?
Yeah.
Evan said you have it.
I'll just message him and get it.
You've shipped to that person in the past with that
Do
name.
you know the first name?
Huddleston, what's your first name? I don't. No, I don't. I can't remember what the first name
Is
is.
he in the chat?
He was at some point, yes.
He was, but he's at the hospital because his kid's being born.
His child is.
Does Levi sound right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it does
I
actually.
think so, but let's not just randomly.
I think that's the only Allison, but we'll just wait.
All right, I'm going to now get some black ink, and now I'm going to try to take what looks like a zenithal undercoat and make it look like individual parts of the model are being highlighted. And in order to do that, I need to have a very low PSI so I can get really close to the model, to not cause spiderwebbing, to hit very specific parts, And because I'm trying to get close to the model and use a low PSI, in order to avoid spiderwebbing, I'm going to thin my paint a lot more than I normally do. So that's kind of like the whole decision framework that you make whenever you're asking the question, what PSI should I use? And also, how thin should my paint be for airbrushing? It's kind of like, what are you trying to do? Let's dox HUD live on stream. Wait, so many pizzas.
The Turtle Dad would like to know if you've ever airbrushed with streaking grime.
I have, one time. I airbrushed with it when I did my Renegade Knight conversion, which there's a big old video for that if you want to check it out.
I also have airbrushed with streaking grime. That's how I did all of my, what do you call them? Night's Watch guys.
Night's Watch?
Yeah, Stormcast Eternals have it too, but I didn't airbrush any of them. I just slathered it on.
Yeah, I think airbrushing streaking grime on a nice filter of it and then wiping it away was like a really great way to like just get a ton of just weathering on the model in like a very like nice way.
Weathering and a really fun and interesting way to do kind of an opaque panel lining wash as well.
It was good. I'll do it again.
It's a nice tool.
See ya, Amber.
Bye.
Don't use an airbrush you care about. Do it outside. I didn't do it outside, but I did have like a fan and like an something that was purifying the air. Otherwise, known as an air purifier, running while I was doing it. The Turtle Dad. All right, awesome. Glad to hear it. I think it's my second most viewed video on YouTube. So it's a banger, as the children say.
Your most recent video has been a banger too.
Thank you.
I mean, that was an objective observation, Scott.
Oh.
Because it's got over 100K views.
It does. In 5 days. Pretty good. What's your go-to airbrush primer? It is Stynylrez from Badger, but note that many people do not like this primer. And it happens to work for me, and I don't know why it works for me. But
I like it when it works.
There's a lot of people that don't like it very much, though. So just know that before buying some. Full on, it's okay. As a thought, you say a lot of stuff that is like, that edges on like, just like tilting the shit out of me. That just did. No, okay, I'm just kidding. But seriously though, like, clickbait is an interesting term to use, right? Because there's multiple kinds of clickbait. There's like the type that lies, literally, and like incentivizes you to watch something that doesn't actually happen in the video. And there's other ones that are on like the edge of truth, that sensationalize what goes on, but still goes on. Legitimately, my problem with 40K was explicitly what I stated in that video. I didn't have a home creatively in that game. Every other game that I played, Song of Ice and Fire, Vampires, and Age of Sigmar, were just easier to do. Like they were just easier for me to find joy in. It didn't require massive conversion. I had a scheme I already liked, etc., etc., etc. So in that video, I like to think that I wasn't lying to people about the clickbait. It is literally my issue with 40K. I don't play the game. I don't know what the rules are like. None of that shit. But like I do know that I struggle with Dark Eldar for a number of reasons, and that has disincentivized me from wanting to play the game. But now I'm excited. I'm excited to paint more Dark Eldar because I actually like my scheme, like truly. So like there was a video that I watched that someone in my Discord actually recommended, and it was from Veritasium. It's an old video talking about clickbait and how unreasonably effective it is. And in it, he defines clickbait in two different ways. He calls one click trap, which is like where you're lying.
I like that, click trap.
Like you're trapping someone into watching your video. And the other one is called legit bait, where it's like, this is an incentivizing title that is interesting, but also at the same time, it's not a lie. It's just incentivizing, that's all it is. And in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, that's my thoughts. do you disagree with those thoughts on how I define clickbait, and also if my video qualifies for that? I would love to hear your thoughts. But that I'm not trying to like lie and be an evil person, but I just think that it's important for YouTubers to give a good amount of thought on their videos and title them adequately, because that is very effective.
All right, so I have a more what is the phrase to use? Meta way to look at this?
A what?
Okay. So here's the question: if the title is a lie, but it is a lie that quote unquote tricks people into watching content that they then enjoy, even if it didn't have the thing in the title, is that wrong, or are you doing that person a service by getting them in the door to watch the thing that they then enjoy? Right?
That is a very slippery slope.
It absolutely is. And I mean, like, that's the key is, like, if they click on it and it doesn't deliver what they thought from the title, but it is something that they legitimately like, and they're like, this isn't what I was expecting, but this was great, is that a problem? I would argue no.
Maybe it's not a problem, but I would never encourage someone to do that, because that just opens the floodgates for lying. Flossmith
says lying is always wrong, and I disagree.
I agree with Flossmith.
No, well, it depends on how you define lying, but lying is absolutely a good thing sometimes.
Afterthought says, I think I would put it this way: if you are a YouTube viewer and saw a video titled "Fixing My Problems with Song Ice and Fire Miniature Game," and then it was about a paint scheme, would you feel the title was representative of what was within the video? First of all, the video was more about a paint scheme. It was about changing the modeling for an entire faction and make it something that you like. So there's more to it than just the paint scheme. I think you misrepresented the video. Secondly, I think that if that concept is adequately explained in the video throughout the video, then it's fine. I think it's fine. And I tried to explain it adequately, that my problem with 40K was this. And I think a lot of people have issues with their war games that are like that. They don't feel like they creatively own their thing, and it discourages them from playing the game. And if you read the comments, that is a very common thing in our hobby. A lot of people resonated with that message. So I feel like if they explained that to me in the course of the video, then I'd be fine with it. But if they didn't adequately explain that in the video, then I would feel like I was baited. Yes. But it's hard. It's hard to say that. Obviously, I'm biased, right? So it's hard to, come out here and be like, oh, of course that's fine, because like I have a stake in this.
I mean, I agree with JTP Crusade. Also, Lummox Beast subscribed to the Prime. I don't know if we called that out.
Lummox Beast, thank you, sir.
10 months. We love Prime subs. We also love doing giveaways, and we got about 3 minutes left in this giveaway. ! Moist to enter if you're in a location that allows you to. Giving away this bag o' minis. And we only do these giveaways because of your support. Those Prime subs, those regular subs.
Now we're also illustrating something else interesting about clickbait, is that it's not quantifiable, right? There's someone in the chat, Nix Aiko, who thought that it wasn't clickbait, and other people that commented thought it was clickbait. So it's not fully understood. We don't really know what clickbait is and what it isn't. It's kind of a moving target.
We don't really know what objective measurements can be used to judge a movie. But we do have the aggregate. Maybe instead of bringing
should be an aggregate.
Maybe instead of bringing back likes and dislikes publicly, there should be a button that says clickbait, not clickbait, and then we can start determining what clickbait actually is in the minds of the community.
That wouldn't be misused at all.
And then it would be really, really interesting to see how that data would vary by like language and population set.
Yeah, that would be an interesting study for sure.
Like, do English speakers consider clickbait differently than like Japanese speakers or whatever? Fascinating.
Let's define bait. All we know is the scale starts at B.
We know what clicking is. Let's figure out what bait is.
Yeah. There's an interesting part of that Veritasium video where he's like, I made this video and I titled it this, and it got 1 million views, 500,000 views, which is like terrible for his channel. And then someone else stole that exact video and re-uploaded it with a slightly better title, and it got so many more views, 16 million views on an unknown channel, ripped off of his channel, uploaded somewhere else. This is really interesting, like how much a little bit of an interesting title, it makes you kind of ponder, kind of increases your interest, just does for a video. It's really interesting.
Johnny Man Thing says, silly faces in thumbnails are clickbait.
So, silly faces?
Yeah. Okay, so here's my pushback on that one, right? So there's a face on the thumbnail that's not necessarily present in the video, right?
Right.
Does that mean everything in a thumbnail has to be like a shot specifically from the video? Because those thumbnails almost always perform poorly.
I think anything in your thumbnail should represent the content of the video, obviously.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at your thumbnails right now, right? And there's text that doesn't appear in the video. There are often shots that don't appear in the video, and that's okay. Because the composition wouldn't make sense in the video format.
Okay.
People are attracted to faces and stuff. Like,
it is an interesting conversation, though.
I'm most intrigued by the idea that lying is always wrong, because I feel like that's objectively not true.
I mean, it's hard to say that anything is anything all the time. So it's like maybe there's a situation where lying is okay, but I guess in the context of YouTube titles and thumbnails, I would say most of the time it's probably not good to lie. And I just don't want to like even like float that idea out to anyone on the internet, because like everyone's gonna think, oh yes, I can lie. Like this is an okay version of lying when it comes to thumbnails. And it's like, it's not. It's hard to say that and be objective about it.
If your friend gets a really bad tattoo. Well, it depends on the kind of friend. You might just constantly make fun of it for it.
Adthought says, to be clear, I wasn't saying that using clickbait makes you a lesser creator or a lesser person. Okay.
Before we dig into that, let's pick our winner.
Let's do it.
Sansarai, or Sansarai, or Sansarai. Please sound off in the chat. Everyone at this can't spell. There we go. Gotta be here to win. I'll do the bit when that. Yeah, there we go. There's. All right.
Shit.
All right. I am doing the thing. I need your shipping info, your name, and your email address. Just want to make sure that chat feels included in this process.
Oh my god, he's doing the thing! I think there's clickbait that draws you in with a promise it doesn't deliver on, and then there's clickbaity that has titles that look like clickbait, and they do actually show what the title said, even though
Did I hear a
it's
rockin'
not as
stone?
sensational.
You did hear a rockin' stone. Okay, so you were going to respond before I so rudely interrupted you by giving away some of your stuff. To the I'm not attacking you personally element of what he's saying, or it doesn't make you a lesser person. Yes, it does have a croissant head also. I saw that earlier.
Oh yes, croissant.
It is important, Mike Genie.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I just don't want to ever feel someone's always gonna feel like they got like my title or a thumbnail I made was clickbaity. It's just like what percentage am I okay with? Is it like 5%, 10% of people that claim that would vote it's clickbait?
Mr. Shake?
I don't know. I just don't want anyone to. I want to represent my video in a way that it gets the views that I feel like it deserves, which is hard to measure because obviously, again, I'm biased and I put a lot of effort in my videos. So I don't want to like. There's a part of me that's very easily gets into this kind of self-righteous like mode where it's like I will give a video like an intentionally not clickbaity title because it makes me feel like I'm a better person for doing that. You know, you guys feel that? And I'm trying to not be that person while also giving a video a good title that gets it the views that you know is good, but also represents it adequately. It's a hard area to live in. You know, it's challenging. How much PSI in the brush? Right now we're doing 15 with a very diluted ink, and I'm like really close to the model, trying to get this figured out. What percentage of those people are fucking assholes?
Wrecked.
I don't know. I know the fact that YouTube and Twitch gives anyone a chance to see who Miniac really is. Oh, thank you, Moose. I appreciate it. Muzz?
I mean, there's definitely also the school of thought that this is just a business and do what you got to do to get paid. But your mileage may vary. I know that Linus has talked about this many times.
Oh, I bet he has.
Because they get hated on for clickbait. And he's like, we tried the era of non-clickbait, and we've done A/B testing, and sorry, we have 100 employees on staff that we have to pay. So if it makes you mad, feel free. But our videos are our lifeblood, and they perform better without it. You know, like being a thing that we worry about. So we're just going to do it. And if that's a problem for you, there's an extension called like the unclickbaiter or something like that on popular videos will unclickbait titles that are submitted. You know, like things get flagged enough times and someone will go through and just give it a title that's very, very factually dry.
I did not know this was a thing.
It is a thing.
That's hilarious.
It's really funny, but it's also like one of those things that like obviously if you really, really care about this, it's perfect for you. But the truth is, it's like a micro niche, and most people just do not care. Because most people are just like, oh, it's tech tips, man. That sounds like a funny idea for video. I click on tech tip, man. Wow, he water cool his computer with pool. Neat. I click like.
It was bizarre that DIY Perks and Linus put out pool water cooling videos in the same day.
that is bizarre. However, Linus has been working on his for like 2 years.
That's true. It's been an ongoing
saga
thing.
Where like the pool was like sitting there half finished for like I want to say like 18 months. And he put like a warning out to them that he was like, listen, we haven't talked about this publicly. I'm giving you guys another 30 days. If you still haven't fixed my pool, I'm going to name and shame. And he had to do it. And then the next week he was like, good news, everyone. They came out and they did the work finally.
I feel like there's a title that tells you what the video's about. Damn it. Why does this always fucking happen to me? I read a thing and then it just goes away instantaneously. I try to get past that second line and I never can get past it.
Hang on. Which one?
It's Adathos. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Absolutely. There's some YouTubers I use that I used to. Oh god, fuck this shit, man. Thank you, Adathos. I feel like there's a titles that tell you what a video is about, professional opinion roast setups, and then there are titles that ask you what the video is about, fixing my biggest problem. Yeah, sure. And I would say the best titles take advantage of that curiosity gap, where it's like that kind of is just like, oh, I'm curious what that problem with 40K might be. But maybe not. Maybe that's not like the best. Who knows? I have no idea. I don't fucking know. I only work here. I don't know. You know, I think I am going to start to get more into A and B testing. I know you can like buy. You have to buy some shit through TubeBuddy, And then you can do A and B testing. I might do that for a couple months and just see. Because I think I understand how thumbnails work and like what works, but like I think I'm gonna be proven wrong a lot. I don't know.
I definitely feel that way too. There's also sort of this entrenched culture of just how it's done right now. And that shifts over time where you start seeing more of some things and less of others. I remember an era of YouTube where every thumbnail had an explosion. Because that's what performed.
Yeah, are we past the red arrow phase?
I don't know. Maybe?
Yeah, I'm curious when we're going to get past the red arrow and ludicrous face phase.
I don't think the ludicrous face phase is ever really going to go away.
Yeah, just because people relate to human faces more. Is that why you think?
Human faces and drama, and those two things equal actoring. Extra face.
Extra face. I feel attacked now. Zambies! The problem is that YouTube only promotes videos to new viewers based on how good it...
Mike Genie says, are we still firmly in the female torso click metrics era? Sadly, yes.
Female torso? What does that mean?
I see Big Bobai click video.
Oh, boobies.
Yeah.
Sure. A/B testing is coming to YouTube. I've had access for about a month now. Well, what the fuck? Where's my access? I don't have that.
You might. Maybe it's hidden somewhere.
I tried to Google it and I couldn't find it. I also was like, I asked Squidmar about it. He pointed me to the Tube Buddy thing. How I've been testing is like, I'll put a new thumbnail up and I'll look at the live metrics. And if I see an immediate like change in live metrics, then I know that I'm doing something right. Really? That happens, Mike Genie? Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You found a blue arrow. Oh my God.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking through the main page here and I'm not seeing any arrows. You know what I do see a lot is the pointing behind you meme. You know, the guy addressing camera and pointing behind him thing?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of that. Or things that are clearly couching that. Okay, the first red arrow is on Painting Phases podcast, pointing at their guest for the video.
Okay.
Also, I Scott knows this, but I haven't shared it with chat. Our recommendation page for the Miniac's backlog channel is great because it's hobby content and like I don't know how to Google porn.
Yeah. Probably some Sniper Wolf casually thrown in there.
Exactly, that kind of stuff.
Writes down, no red arrows. Zambies, you know just as much about making thumbnails as we all do.
I mean, it is one of the great mysteries of our time.
I have access to the A&B testing from being a part of the YouTube R&D program. That sounds really cool.
How come I'm not part of the YouTube R&D program?
Yeah, how do I get into that? Did you see that?
One R&D program, please.
Yeah. YouTube, just give me all the cool features, please. Sometimes I'll just run my brush over an area that's like kind of like lightly gray, just to kind of like darken the whole thing down to like a more of a medium gray. Because it's fairly translucent, the color in my airbrush, so it does a really good job at tinting stuff. I'm also going to avoid like the shawl in the head area because that's going to end up being a different color other than black. If you want to cash in on the current YouTube trends, you just need to make a video about the Manhattan Project / Atomic Bomb before Oppenheimer. Yeah, sure. It's definitely a tentpole event, the Barbie and Oppenheimer movies. Can YouTube just tell us what it wants? The sad part is that YouTube is just, all YouTube is doing is just showing us what we already want. It's not what it wants necessarily. It's what humans want, as interpreted by a machine. I saw that Midwinter tried to cash in on the Barbie hype by converting a Keeper of Secrets out of a Barbie. I don't know if that video did well for him though. Whenever I've tried to do something like that, it's never worked out. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. That just means that I don't understand how to make it work.
No, not really. 64K views is where he's at, and that's a almost 2-week-old video. That's kind of below curve for him, I think.
That might be below.
Them, yeah.
I didn't even get that MWM video suggested to me. Yeah.
Same. I didn't even know this existed until now, and I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, it was an interesting idea. My husband found a miniature-sized Barbie at a dollar store. That's nice. That Barbie conversion is cursed as fuck.
Midwinter likes his cursed as fuck videos.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Oh yeah, I hate this.
The winter
I'm looking
video?
at the final result now. No, pass.
Hard no.
I guess that's really the problem with it, is that I feel like the Keeper of Secrets is supposed to be weirdly horrifying and sexy. This is not that. That's all I can do, Mike Genie. That's all I can do. How do I... Okay, it's like stuck. That's fine.
What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, to hear the lamentation of their women.
Man, Midwinter Mini says 13K more subs than you, Scott. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel irrelevant.
Completely overshadowed and superseded by that couple of percentage points.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at in the YouTuber hierarchy anymore. I think does that make me third or fourth now?
I think you're third.
Am I third?
Because Squidmar's number one.
I remember back in the day when I was number one, chat.
Well, maybe if you would just constantly tell people to subscribe in your videos.
I try.
Get subscribed!
I tell them literally subscribe or die. Okay?
Yeah, but you do that at the end of the video, which is the part no one watches.
Scott's subs are higher quality though. Damn right, Mike.
Distilled.
Damn right. Did Squidmar ever pass GW in subs? Oh man, he's got to.
No, I don't think he did. Let me see.
He just stopped talking about it? That was his whole thing though.
He did. He did that for like 6 months, and then he just kind of shut up about it. He's at 572.
Empty thread stop. Okay, all right, Mike. I see what you're saying.
And official Warhammer is at 658, so he needs to get another 90,000 subs to pass them.
That's chump change for ML. He's got it.
Maybe that's what you should do. Is every video you should tell people to subscribe to Squidmar so we can get there. If you like this video, go over to Squidmar and subscribe to his channels. Hey, Baleforge, rating for it with a party of 7. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Baleforge. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I'll be like, you know what? Instead of subbing here, Emil's
If you
always
like
wanted.
this kind of content,
Emil's had a
Squidmar puts out
dream.
more videos.
Yeah. See, that's the exact kind of thing that I would do, but it'd feel so bad to do that. But I'm like doing it for a joke, you know. It earns you respect, but it's not good for your business.
It's good for your business if then he does the same thing in return.
Yeah. That would be good. Clearly an example must be made of a non-subscriber. You're right. Fuck, that is actually a funny idea, though. You know, I say this a lot, but I've never actually, like, made good on my promise and just, like
Subscriber die.
fake mock kill like a non-subscriber.
This is what will happen to you if you aren't subscribed.
I feel like you're not taking me seriously. Just murder someone.
Azur Hyas, are you saying that you're not subscribed right now, partner? Is that what's going on?
Who is Azarius? All right. I'll unsub and you can kill me.
Barbie didn't subscribe. See what happens.
Ah! All right.
No, Mr. Non-subscriber, I expect you to die.
That is a hilarious idea for a video, though, Mike Genie. Or just like a part of a video.
Well, we already have a hilarious video on deck that just hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Which one is that one?
The one that I had to get uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, shit. I forgot about that.
No spoilers. Every time a 52 miniatures video gets recommended to me, I think about that.
You think about that moment?
It's burned into my mind.
Gotta say, subscribe, X or die. We're getting weird with the logic here. What, are we immortal if we subscribe? I mean, no, yeah, it's more like subscribe and I will not kill you. All right.
Perhaps that's what you should be yelling at the end of your videos now. The 2023 Miniac refresh.
Yeah.
Subscribe and I will not come and find you and murder you and all your kids.
That's what it is. Okay.
Don't forget.
That's the problem. I haven't been specific enough. Do I have a passport? Yes. I could do that, Zambies.
When Philip DeFranco started specifically saying he would punch people in the throat, it worked. Well, he is one of YouTube's most successful creators, so aping that isn't a problem.
Speaking of Phil DeFranco, I watched his news segment about Miranda Sings. You guys all know about that?
Yeah.
Damn. All right. I think what I'm going to do now, got some nice, call them major gradients, not minor gradients, just that kind of define the major volumes on the model. And I'm not liking it so much, but what I think I'm going to try to do is I'm going to apply a cold tint over top of it, and then I'll get into paintbrush painting. Probably next stream. Yeah. Right now it's still feeling very airbrushy, which I don't know if it's just a me problem, but I always kind of struggle to make something look like it wasn't painting with an airbrush. like if I were to use that tool largely exclusively on a model. I feel like Angel Heraldez is really good about using an airbrush very selectively, such that it doesn't feel like it's been airbrushed. I'm out of the loop. TLDR, Jesus Christ, that ukulele. Miranda Sings is a very old school YouTuber, and recently there have been allegations that she is a little bit of a child groomer. That's probably the most severe of the allegations.
Let's just keep it broad and just say kind of a creepy weirdo.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I went a little too deep too fast. I dug too deep.
You know what? Hang on. I think I can just pull up that segment and link it for people in chat who are curious.
Sure, yeah.
Because we're not going to do it justice to summarize it.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot people are discovering, and you might draw different conclusions than other people might. I'm not necessarily sure if Miranda Sings is a child groomer. People were saying that, so I use similar verbiage, but that's bad on me. I shouldn't do that.
That one is Rills RYC. My understanding there is that she wasn't actually performing in blackface. She was performing a show in which she appears as the Wicked Witch, and so she has green paint on her face. But as is often the case with these kinds of things, there is one real potentially negative thing, and then people pile on and try to create other potentially negative things.
Yeah. I actually didn't watch the Phil DeFranco video first. The first Miranda Sings video that I watched was the video with that album music reviewer, Anthony Fantano. Because she made a song. Her apology video was a song, as is right. Her name is Miranda Sings. But it was the worst YouTuber apology video I've ever seen. It was so fucking bad. Too.
I remember this now.
Anthony Fantano or Miranda Sings? Okay.
The Anthony Fantano thing.
Yeah. He just shreds her so hard, and it's so funny to watch. So I was like, okay, I actually have to figure out what is actually going on here. And then I went to the number one news source for YouTube, Phil DeFranco. Okay, I'm going to kind of do an all-over filter coat of Dragunov Nightshade, which is like a really nice, desaturated, dark blue color. This is going to kind of like pull everything down in value, because I still think it's a little bit too bright. And then from there, I'll build up highlights with a paintbrush, and also like carve in really deep recessed shades with like nice black paint. That's my plan. Anthony Fantano somehow survived his YouTube cancellation after people found out his sketchy as hell 4chan meme bait second channel. Azathoth, why do you always gotta ruin everything for me? Okay, I liked Melon.
Ever the screen door on the submarine.
I loved Melonhead. Okay, now I can't like him anymore.
It was a thing of its era, Scott.
I'm gonna turn up the PSI now because I care less about accuracy.
Time to turn up the PSI.
Turn up that PSI. Love Dragunov Nightshade. Yeah, I love Dragunov Nightshade and Quelia Greenshade.
Yeah, Pro Curl's been teasing a lot of new stuff. Why don't we have that, Scott? Send that to us for mail time, guys. And then I can take it.
I'm sure we can make that happen. If that is what you want. I think I should have done this first before the black, just because now I'm turning my
now they're blue.
True black into maybe a little bit blue. Not the hugest deal, but if you want like real dark black, then yeah, I should have done it second after this bluing tint layer. Oh well.
You had the new ones? You didn't tell me? Come on, kitten.
What?
You can't be doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Unbelievable. I thought we were besties or something. Yeah.
Or something.
Sure.
I like how you could see the hand sculpted under the clothing. That's pretty cool. Mike Genie likes Fantano? I had a Fantano phase a long time ago. I haven't watched a lot of his musical reviews, but he is very funny. Okay.
Hey, Scott, look at the screen.
No.
That's the framing.
Okay. I mean, I know I'm blocking it. I just need to know when I'm blocking it.
Yeah, but like you had it under chat and we're blocking it with your head.
Good job. Good job, me.
It's okay. I understand how hard it can be to keep your model in the exact right spot.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah. Scaver just subscribed. Sorry, Scaver. Hey, Scott, just 3D printed my warband for Frostgrave.
Nice.
Any advice on painting something in a winter hellscape environment?
I would say don't underestimate like an undercoat that you use just to influence the whole paint scheme. Like just start with a navy blue undercoat. It's like a light blue zenithal coat, and then start painting on top of that. Don't think about trying to preserve color by using translucent paint. Don't think about that. Just start with a cold undercoat and start painting. And see what decisions you make because you have a cold undercoat. The whole thing is going to feel probably more harmonious. Try that. Also, if you have like humanoid characters, give them really, really rosy cheeks. Like go way warmer than you think with the warmth in their cheeks. And I would do that with glazing. It doesn't take a lot of layers to get really rosy cheeks. It's not like a only display painter thing. You can get a really like rosy complexion with a couple of layers of glazing. And on small models, like on 32 millimeter models, you don't need like a ton of layers to get a nice smooth transition. I have a stupid question that deserves a stupid answer. Is Master Airbrush worth it for a starting airbrush or not? Yeah, you should. It's Bobar. I think you should invest in a actual quality thinner, or not a quality one, but just a thinner. I think Vallejo, Iron Painter, AK, whatever. Take your pick. Who cares? But just don't make your own. At least in my experience, it was not good when I made my own. It was bad.
Yeah, you can use water a little bit to get it to spray, but if you're looking to really do airbrush work, you're going to be served well by having actual thinner of some type and flow aid of some type.
Yeah.
And yeah, master airbrushes are fun. They're not going to be able to do some of the stuff that you can do with a nicer one, but for a starting airbrush, completely legit. I still use mine. I have the same thing that Scott's using right now, an Iwata HPBH, and I have a Squidmar edition Harder and Steenbeck. I still use my master airbrush about half the time because I just don't need to put anything through the fancy ones. And if I accidentally ruin it, I do not care because it was $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the thought says, John's video on making his own airbrush thinner had some real save $8 on thinner with these $105 worth of various bulk products vibes. That's also always kind of true.
Yeah.
If you just happen to have all these things laying around, you can make your own thinner for cheap. If you don't, well, you can go out and buy a bottle of Army Paint or Airbrush thinner or Vallejo or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty similar, and they all work pretty well. If you have thinning medium that's not even airbrush thinner, that often is fine, because that is a pretty thin consistency and does the same sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But
you could try to make your own if you want.
yeah,
It's like flow improver, isopropyl alcohol, water, probably some kind of medium, and then probably some other stuff. But that's probably the basis of it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, is it really worth it? And for me personally, I don't think it is.
for me it definitely isn't, because it's like my time isn't that valuable, but it's at least that valuable.
So is like Lamian medium fine as an airbrush thinner? I would say that's like one component of airbrush thinning, probably not all of them.
I think the bigger thing about airbrush thinner, well, there's a couple of things, but the bigger thing about airbrush thinner is that you want it to be faster evaporating, and also you want it to actually be thinner than the regular paint consistency. Because if you're just dropping like Vallejo or regular Citadel paint, it's not their airbrush line in there, it's going to have a hard time spraying that out consistently. Unless you really crank that PSI.
I think the other thing about airbrush thinner that's important is that it has some kind of retarder in it, just so that it doesn't cause dry tip on your airbrush so quickly.
I thought that was what Flow Improver was for.
Flow improver also acts as a retardant.
Yeah. I mean, like, they both have some overlap in these things, but I thought specifically Flow Improver was to try and help it while it's in the airbrush, and thinner is supposed to help it when it's on whatever you're painting, basically.
I want to try homemade airbrush cleaner. I mean, I just use isopropyl alcohol, kind of cut with water, because I don't think I need to use like full 99% ISO. So I just use like ISO in water in like a, I don't know, 70% dilution, just to make it last longer. And that seems to work for me.
Yeah, a lot of people use Windex.
Windex is classic, yeah.
There's a lot of options. Honestly, most of the stuff inside the airbrush is pretty robust because it's mostly metal. You just have to make sure you don't put anything in there that's going to eat rubber from valves.
Yeah.
And you can go nuts.
Flow Improver, according to Harder and Steamec videos, is doing the opposite of what an airbrush is doing. Yeah, you're totally right. So Flow Improver likes to cause a liquid to like spread out into the recesses, whereas when you airbrush, you want the paint to apply evenly and thinly on a surface. I think such a small amount of the thinner is used that it doesn't cause that typical effect you would see with washing, but it does cause some kind of drying, retarding. This is just me guessing. I don't know if that's necessarily true. That's what I would assume is true if there is Flow Improver in airbrush thinner.
All right, last question of the stream. Slave Far says, "Hey Scott, what was the last metal band you saw live?"
Sepultura, Death Angel, Spirit World. This is all one show. And Creator. Those 4 bands. It's my last metal concert, which is fairly recent actually. It was the first metal show I went to in a long time. So
I haven't been to a concert in a while.
Yeah. Creator is fucking legit. The best band though, the best band in that entire bunch live for me was Dark Angel. Death Angel. They were really good.
Final choice.
Final
Death
choice.
Angel or Dark Angel?
Death Angel.
All right.
Sepultura.
Let's wrap it up and get it out of here.
Let's get it out of here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for subbing to the stream, supporting the stream by sharing it, being involved in chat, or just being here. I really appreciate that, like truly. We're going to be playing a game this Thursday on the stream because it's the first Thursday of the month. I'm playing with Curtis, and we haven't really figured out exactly what we're going to play. And normally when that happens, we kind of just pick A Song of Ice and Fire, because it's just easy and we like it. I've kind of been fiending for some Underworlds lately because it's a nice, simple, clean game.
You have not played Underworlds since I started this role.
Really?
Yeah, I think that Underworlds was like the last game that you played before I started this.
It's been a while. Fuck.
Pretty sure. So it's been over a year.
Okay. Maybe it's time for a little bit of that.
We gonna raid someone today?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because we're back on Twitch. It feels so good.
The Cavalera version of Sepultura is way better than the other version. Yeah, Sepultura has such a huge discography that I was kind of like, all I cared about was Beneath the Remains and Arise. That's all I wanted to hear. But they weren't really doing much of that because, again, they were playing a lot of their new stuff. They didn't even do Beneath the Remains. I was so sad that they didn't do that song. Remember to kill your friends. Love you too, Cornflake.
What do you think, Monument?
Yeah, it's a Monument.
A standby classic.
All right, y'all. We're going to head out for now. Thank you again for the support. Really appreciate it. We're going to send you over to Monument Hobbies with Jason. Hang out with him for a little bit while he paints up something awesome, undoubtedly. We'll see you this Thursday at 7 p.m. CST for a game with me and Curtis. Otherwise, y'all, have a fantastic Tuesday. See you.
Don't forget to subscribe to Squidmore.